Are there more people there than on Twitch?
I don't know, eh? Alright, I'm gonna start it. Fuck it. Let's get it going. Let's get it popping. Let's see what happens, eh? Hello.
Are there more people there than on Twitch?
I think we're on. We're live.
We're alive.
Let me check the chat.
It's alive.
What's going on? Hey, we got it's working. There we go. Brilliant. All right. All right, cool. So, what we're going to do, I'll just let the chat know what we're going to do. Hey, everyone, thanks for tuning in. What we're going to do today is we had a few winners of my 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So we're going to do a go over some VODs, these guys that won. So you have to bear with me a little bit. So what we're going to do first, we got Zappa here. Actually, we're going to bring up your OPGG. Can you send me your OPGG?
1 second, I gotta move from my bed then.
Alright, all good. In the meantime, guys, so what we got, I believe both these players are Master or Diamond. Yeah. And yeah, so it's going to be a good one, much higher level. But instead, I'm actually going to do it a little different. And I will do Q&A at the end, guys. We're going to do Q&A, a lot of questions at the end. How do I turn this sound off? This is so annoying. 1 second. Alert box. Get rid of that.
There you go.
Okay. So we're going to do this a little differently. So usually what I would do when I do coaching, guys, is I would go over a bunch of odds already in like, I would go over by myself, 5, 7, 8 VODs, in my own time. This time around, what I'm actually doing is, because I've had a lot of people ask me in the Discord, Curtis, how do you actually review a VOD? So I actually started taking notes. And I'm like, you know what? Wouldn't it be better for you guys who wanted to figure out how to review your own games, what I look for, how I actually break down a VOD? Wouldn't it be better if I just kind of come in with more of an open mindset and actually just teach you guys how I go over a VOD, how you guys can look to replicate it on your own. So that's kind of what I'm going to do today. So have you got your OPGG? Zappa? There we go. All right, so let's change scene here. All right. So, can you guys see this all good? So what we got here, so Zappa's D2. So you peaked Master, right?
About 2 weeks ago, I was 101 points in Master, and then I went on a really bad spree.
Okay, and so you're basically a TF main. Play a bit of Vlad. So talk me through your champ pool at the moment.
Yeah, I've been playing TF and Vlad since when I started. It's been my 2 most favorite champs, and I've just stuck with them because I really just enjoy those champs thematically.
Yeah.
And I've kind of forced myself to play some other champs, like Rice is kind of good. What else do I even play?
You got a bit of Syndra.
Garen mid versus counter lanes, like melee assassins.
Yeah, okay.
Kassadin maybe if they pick Vlad, or I'm just yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, so today the VOD you actually sent me was a Twist of Fate one. So we're actually we're actually lucky today because we actually got a point of view one. So actually, I'm going to share my screen with you in a second. So we've actually
a little bit laggy. I think it was because my graphics card wasn't connected properly or something.
Oh no, it's fine. I think it's fine. I liked it. So I'll share my screen with you individually. How do I do this? Share screen. All right. So, what am I looking at? Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm just working my way around this. How do I make this full screen? There we go. Bloody hell. Sorry, guys. Just getting my head around all this. And then I need to change this to this. I think I need to move my camera a little bit. All right. Is my camera all good? Like, position-wise or not? I can't see shit. I need 2 monitors, man. This is getting out of control. All right. Let me just check. Let me ask the chat. How's the, how was the camera? Sorry, guys. I just don't have 2 monitors. I'm looking at the chat. I don't know. I think it's delay. I know, boomer technology, man. Just give me a break. Actually, if I go back on the stream. Okay, it needs to be a little bigger? Smaller? Okay, whatever. I'm going to make it a little smaller. 1 second. Okay. So, can you see this all good?
Yes, it's fine for me. I can look.
I just want to make sure that the stream can actually see everything all good. Sorry guys.
The recorded game was about Diamond 1, I believe.
Should I put it in the left corner? I should put it in the left corner, I think, right? Oh, I need to move it just a little bit. I'm just going to put it in the left corner. It makes it a lot easier. All right. You won. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so you said this game was around D1?
Yeah, it should be above D1.
Okay, so first thing, I like to think about heading into a game. As we go through into this game, we're versing a Talon, we're versing a Elise. We've also got ourselves here a Kha'Zix Twisted Fate. You opted in for Comet into this. Why Comet out of interest, not Electrocute or Spell?
I took Comet to get Absolute Focus for the early AP, so I can wave clear at level 9. And I went Scorch to try and bully the Talon, so I can help my Kha'Zix in the river fight.
Wait, so you don't have you don't have Time Warp? Is that Cosmic?
Yeah, I think you could actually argue that the tonic would be good versus assassins, but I just feel like they're just gonna ignite me and kill me anyway, so the healing won't really do much. So yeah, I just like the CDR better.
I need to make this, because look at my screen. Look at this. For some reason, my pen tool doesn't work when I make this full screen. How can I make this bigger? Window size, frame size. How do I do this, man? Aspect ratio, window size.
By the way, speaking of the compositions of the teams, I was really unhappy with the drafts in this game because I don't like having Kha'Zix as a jungler because he's weak early game. He needs help. Takes so long to scale, and he doesn't really synergize well with TF.
So
Illaoi is pretty bad with TF as well.
I mean, it's good in some games, but it's bad against assassins. So I want to talk a little bit about runes. So like, I think Comet. I mean, I think Comet's okay. Okay, personally, this game I would go Unsealed Spellbook because there's so many summoners that are so valuable for you this game. Like Cleanse is extremely valuable. Like you can play aggressive with Ignite if you have a decent early laning phase. Exhaust is quite useful. You know, even Barrier into mid game. Like there's so many useful summoners. Yes, if you wanted to go down the aggressive route, you can just go like Electro or Comet, but that's just my personal preference. And again, since I'm versing a Talon, okay, I want to talk about this concept. And for any Twisted Fate player, any player in general versing an assassin, it's like whether you're playing Vlad or when you're playing it doesn't matter what champion, a mage. Generally, I like the analogy I like to use is you're walking a tightrope, right? So you play too aggressive and you die, which is like, say you're walking on a tightrope, you lean to the right, which is too aggressive, you just die, you blow your flash, you die to a gank, etc. But you go to defensive, you lean to the left-hand side, then you're probably not going to, the guy's just going to free roam. He's just going to push, he's going to free roam, and then you're not really going to be able to do anything to keep him down. So basically, that's what I'm going to be looking for this game. Now, what do we know about jungle pathing against an Elise? He started Machete. Elise is basically only ever going to do, there's a few paths. Elise can do maybe red Krugs, blue, or red, blue Gromp. Basically...
Yeah, in this game, I wasn't really thinking about that I saw her jungle starting item, so she's probably gonna do red, blue, Gromp, do top crab. She starts bot side.
I just want to check the chat one more second just to see if everything's all good before we get into the details. Is the details all good? The size is fine? Cool. Size is all good. I just wanted to check. Alright, the size is all good. I'm just going to go stick with it. Okay. We're all good. Alright, so again, Elise is never really going to start Hunter's Talisman anyway. So I think you're all good to know that Elise is basically always going to go for some form of 3 camp. And Elise isn't a level 2 ganking jungler. Elise is a level 3 ganking jungler. I mean, okay. So in my mind, actually one good thing this game, when I look at this team composition, is what do we see? Extremely good gank setup for you. Like this is like your side lanes, like you have so many options. Sona, Squishy, and most likely heavy trading matchup. Bot lane, Squishy champions with no escape, no cleanses, nothing, versus a Thresh with extremely good gank setup and good gank follow up. So you've just got so many good options this game. All right, so this is already something
I was looking at Thresh and I was thinking that. I was looking at top and I was thinking, can he really help me? It would be if Sona got low and I could kill her by myself, but I don't really think I could go otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Now, let's see how you play this. And again, I am going to do this as if I was reviewing this VOD, as if it was my VOD. What would I look for? What would I how would I go about it?
In the beginning of the lane, I want to push because I don't want him to get level 2 first, and it will allow me to get poke as well. And Elise doesn't gank early game, so I can reset the wave if I need to.
I like how you're standing outside the wave here. I like it.
Yeah. So he has to hit me, so I can keep pushing the creeps. I could maybe have gotten an W in there, but yeah.
Okay. Already, this is just a little thing that it makes all the difference. Okay, like at this point, okay, what do we know? We know that most likely you've got a bit of the shove on this guy. He started W, all good. You're most likely going to get level 2 first. Because again, obviously it's the first creep off the second wave, which means that you're going to have a bit of pressure here. You get Q level 2, use your Q through it, and right now you're just hard pushing. It's just fine because it's going to be able to shut down this Talon, and you're going to be in a pretty good spot to get some vision down. It's going to be all good. Now, one thing that I want you to have a think about is, and this is something I see all the time with Twisted Fate players, is that they're all too eager to use their W and pick a card. Right now, what the most scary thing is for a Talon is for a Twisted Fate to actually walk up over here, or even just like outside the wave anywhere, and not pick a card, just flick through them. So what you actually do is, I mean, this is just for me straight away. I'm going to go through the little details since you're a high elo player and you want to get to like Master, Grandmaster. When you verse any assassin or any champion any melee champion basically who wants to walk up and auto attack creeps, or they're threatened by you because you have a range advantage, the most scary thing is when they verse a Twisted Fate is not knowing what card they're going to take. But look at this: when you select blue card in front of their face and just use a blue card on the minion like that, that just tells Talon, oh, I'm okay to auto attack creeps like he's just doing right now. He's okay not to be scared at all. He knows that you have no self peel, so it's just like, a little thing there that right now, if you didn't use W randomly, like you're full mana anyway, you've already got the shove on the wave. You know he's level 1. He can only W you. You position over here, and then you just hold. You just use your W and flick through it. If he throws his W, then you're only basically gonna hit by one side of it. Then if he uses his W on you, the wave's gonna be so big that then you can just walk up, zone him with your W, and then build a big wave, get some vision down, and you're gonna be in a really good spot. So just like doing that, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, I see what you mean. What I was thinking is that if I would do that, then he could hit level 2 on the creep right now, and then he would Q, W, auto, and then Ignite. Maybe I wouldn't die, but I would.
Yeah.
Would be good.
My point's not you, but again, you shouldn't really get engaged on. But again, it's just the threat, because right now you put gold card. If you just flick through and you see this guy, you know that this guy's going to go for level 2 off this creep, right? Most likely he's going to walk up and auto attack this creep. What you can do is you can just red card. You can just red card this.
Yeah, that would be better, so I get more push.
Because like right now, if you pick blue, you have no other option. Like you're putting yourself into a position where, it's so obvious for him. So even if he does get 2 as well off this minion, if you put a red card, you can easily tether him, and he's not going to be able to get in W range. Or, I mean, he might clip you on one end of the W, but he's definitely not going to get 2 ends of the W. So red card is actually extremely valuable in any of these matchups where you want to push, you want to harass, and you want to tether the enemy. Like, I'm just saying from my experience, when I'm versing a champion like Talon or Zed or any of them, I very rarely pull a blue card like this. Blue card for me is something, it's like a luxury. It's a luxury if I've used a lot of mana already. And generally when you see Dopa, a lot of the time in these matchups, he's pulling red cards or gold cards. That, yeah. Red cards or gold cards. He very rarely pulls a blue card like at this point in the lane. That's because again, you're just missing out on so much free poke and threat. Anyway, but yeah, I see your point though. It's just not awful. Now, something already now that I'm thinking. What do we know now about the game state? We know that the waves,
I was thinking about my Kha'Zix at this point, and my Kha'Zix is taking a really weird path. He's taking red to golems.
No, that's standard. That's standard on Kha'Zix.
I wasn't expecting him to do that.
So,
sorry, what were you saying?
What I was saying was that right now you have a small window where you can ward. So it's very common if you actually watch most pro players at the moment. This is the window they'll ward between 220 and 230. Right now, if you don't ward, it's going to be a lot harder for you to pick a location to ward, or to have a time to ward. Because right now, okay, cool. Talent, you've got the wave shoved in. You're starting to, lock this guy in the lane. Ideally, what you want right now is you want a side to lean on so you can, again, walk that tightrope. If you don't ward in this window right now, you're going to be extremely vulnerable to ganks. Because again, Elise is a jungler that can do quick 3 camp, 2 minute 30, be in river, flank from behind you. Kha'Zix isn't going to really be able to back you up, and then you can just die. So right now, if you don't
remember what I did. I don't remember what I do here.
And
I don't ward or...
You don't do anything. So this is massive. Like, I can't even stress this enough.
Bad spots. This is a bad spot.
Like, you should be dead. Like, you can honestly just die so soon right now. Like, obviously, Kha'Zix is kind of in the area. But right now, because you're so scared like this, you have to give so much pressure. You have to give a lot of pressure. So right now, that was the perfect window. And when I was watching Ron's gameplay as well, the second guy we're actually going to be doing coaching today, this is massive. This not warding at 220 here, this window, 220 to 230, is so big. And I get asked a lot in Discord, like, what happens if you can't ward deep or anything? Just duck out like this. Even if these were even creeps, right? Let's just say he had 4 here and you had 4 here. It's worth it for you to walk out, maybe miss 1 creep just so you can get a ward in the top dot right now. Because most likely Elise has done red, blue Gromp and is looking into the top river at 230. And that's just going to give your team so much control. It's going to allow you to push your limits. It's just going to change the game completely. So you've actually dug yourself a pretty big hole at this point in time. I'd be very scared if I were you.
Yeah, I'm really scared right now in this game. Now he's just got the wave in a perfect spot.
Okay, and this is actually another thing here that I've noticed here. In this position, if you are wanting to harass, I actually personally like let's just imagine a scenario where you have topside warded. This is where you just continue to spam red cards. You can you could be able to heavy lean topside. You don't pull a gold card. You can just lean over on one side, keep throwing red cards on the creeps if Talon walks up. You can just keep this really annoying slow pushing and keeping this guy down. Because again, I don't think there's going to be much kill threat from Kha'Zix anyway. And just keep this guy from roaming, essentially. But now you've used a gold card in his face. You're really scared from Elise right now. He's going to have push a little bit here.
He's going to get prior now because I have to respect the Elise a bit.
Well, that's what you're scared of right now. I can tell by your movements. Okay, bang. Elise shows topside. What's the first thing you should be thinking? Is pressing tab?
I was thinking if I could TP, but there was no chance. I mean,
I think even if you could TP there, it's such an average TP because like you lose so much mid if that happens. But yeah, okay, it is what it is. But anyway, right now, the first thing you see when you see the jungler, press tab, count their CS. You know he's done blue, red. He's level 3. I'm assuming he probably has 12 CS. So you know 100% he's going to be topside right now. He's thinning the wave a little bit. Okay, so
should have red carded that.
Yeah, exactly. More red, definitely red card. So you know right now, again, this minion was getting low. You can easily look for red card. But something I want you to know: do you know about Talon's how the Q works?
Yeah, he gets the half reset.
Yeah, half reset. Yeah. Okay, because what happens here? He gets the reset, and then you walk up, and then you've got the 2 stacks here. This is where you need to respect, because that's his only way.
I know his Q is on like a 3-second cooldown now.
And then he screws you up here.
And he still does it to me.
Yeah. This is fine. At least he's still top, though. This is really big information for you. He's still top. But you've got some nice poke off on this guy. I just think that from right now, your trades would just be a lot better if you were utilizing your red cards a lot more, I think.
Yeah, you should put more red. They don't cost a lot of mana either, so.
But you're leaning onto this Nide. You're keeping it in a nice little pocket here. Not bad.
Nice. Kind of just wanna
like that.
Get level 5 and get a hard push. I think I couldn't quite get in range of that.
It's not too bad. Again, you should be a little bit careful here because you know Elise is topside still, right? We know Elise is 100% still topside. He's probably on that top scuttle right now. Kha'Zix is ganking bot. Like this right now is fucking scary. This is scary as.
I think if Elise was there, then she couldn't kill me. I had creeps in front of me, and the next wave was coming too.
Okay. I mean, I would still be pretty careful. I mean, we don't know. I mean, there is a moment here where you're not behind the creeps. But anyway. Okay. Not too bad.
I was counting on my reflexes to be able to... My boomer reflexes to dodge the cocoon.
Not too bad.
I'm 24. I'm pretty old.
I mean, this lane's going really good. He hasn't really... I mean, it's going okay. I mean, you could have pressured earlier. You probably could have still been on at least 1 corrupting pot. You could have used your ward. And now look what's the main problem here. You've been sitting on 2 wards. Now you're just going to sit on 2 wards. So your team has no idea where Elise is. If you had top dot warded, you would actually see if Elise went up here to check the jungle. You would actually see if Elise did scuttle, walked back into the jungle this whole time. Or you would actually have seen if Elise hovered into that bush. There's so much information here you would have gotten from Elise if you had warded that. But now you're stuck on 2 wards.
Yeah, I needed to ward it more this game, for sure.
But this is going fine. Like, I mean, your early lane's basically fully isolated. I mean, basically, and you've gotten a decent amount of gold here.
At this point, I'm just thinking, I don't want to let him reset. I want to either follow or create roams and get vision after my base now.
And there's Elise bot. What should we see again? Tab.
I wasn't. Do I need to look at this CS now?
I think it's still important to look at this CS because then you know if he done, because if he had if he had 16, then you would know he's basically, or maybe he would have a little bit more because he got a few creeps CS top, but most of the time you would know that he'd just done scuttle, instantly base to go straight back bot side, or maybe he had like 20 or 24, then you know most likely he's done wolves over here or something like that. Then he's going straight back onto bot side. It just again will give you a little bit more indicator of what he's done. Okay, so here this was, I mean, I'm assuming
this wasn't really good. I kind of didn't know what to do here.
I mean, I don't know why
I was
this.
gonna TP back anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why this
I don't,
Talon's walking into your bush like this.
I don't know why this happened really.
This is a bit
What I could
weird.
have done.
I
Maybe
think this is
should've
just.
kept
I think this is just a greedy recall in general, though. I think that's the main problem here. Like whenever I recall, I never recall here. I always either recall all the way back here or all the way behind my tower. But I actually wanted to talk a little bit about before this. So, okay, so in a review, right, guys, I want to talk to everyone about this one. So let's just say we look at this situation. What do we know? We know that Zappa here, he wants to get a recall. He's on 1100 gold. He wants to get his catalyst most likely. He's versing a Talon who's quite And what's the biggest advantage here in this matchup is that TF actually has teleport and Talon has ignite. So what actually so what I'll do sometimes is I'll look at this and I'll be like, is this the most valuable? Like, how come it doesn't feel like we got insane value out of our TP versus ignite? Like, what did we do on? What could we have done better? Because I'm looking at this right now, and then I'm looking at Zappa here getting a reset. About to probably get a reset soon, and it doesn't really feel like we've been able to get a decent advantage with our teleport so far. It seems like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like we've got much value so far. Like, we haven't TP'd, but like I mean, I guess this next wave is a cannon. What happens here?
Yeah, I don't really want my jungler to gank, so
okay.
He's just gonna get away.
So this is not too bad, but I still feel like this is just a result of his mistake. So this is good for you right now. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is not too bad, but I still feel like this is his mistake. Because think about it. All the way back here, what happens if this Talon just resets? Like right now, he just resets.
I don't think he's gonna. Yeah, if he resets now, then
he doesn't
probably just gonna go back mid.
Yeah, he doesn't really. You don't really get that much of advantage, right? Because this is not even a cannon wave. So I'm like, I would not be happy with this recall. I mean, it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world, but I would always be thinking, how could I have done this better? You know how?
He was right?
He was but he basically got the wave at a very similar time to you. And it was
maybe I shouldn't have queued that, saved mana, and queued the next wave instead.
I actually think you have one or two decisions here. You either, at this point in time, knowing that this is a cannon wave, okay, you can't base here, can't really base here. Knowing that you're still full HP, you have the sustain advantage with blue cards over this guy. Knowing that Elise most likely is going to be heading back onto bot side, but you got plenty of vision. I would actually just wait and play patient for the next cannon wave. I actually think basing here is not necessary right now. I actually feel like basing right now is pretty low value because, again, the amount of tempo you're going to get is not that high. Because then if he stayed right now...
But what if I manage to base here and I TP back to lane and then he's stuck with no mana and I have resource advantage and I get my ult very soon?
Because what I'm trying to do right now, in my mind, I'm trying to reverse engineer, like, given what happened, how could I have done this better? Because I just look at this situation. I'm trying to envision in my mind, okay, what happens? Think about it. You base. Let's say you just based. You come back. This guy just recalls, or like he notices you TP back, so he starts to recall, right? Or maybe he just insta recalls. Either way, it's not that good for you because think about it. The next wave you TP in, your bot lane's already just dead.
True.
You're not going to be able to ult top. You get 6 off that next full wave, I'm pretty sure anyway, but like it's one wave and it's not even a cannon. Like, I mean, like if he stays, he could easily just stay and wait for the next wave, which is a cannon wave, but then that'd probably be beneficial for you. It's not too bad. All I'm thinking is that like I don't think it's insanely valuable right now. But I personally, what I would have done, I really don't like basing when it's not a cannon wave, but given he had to react to 4 creeps there, okay, it's not too bad. I probably just would have waited another wave, one more wave, and then based on a cannon wave. But anyway, this happens, and you come back with your catalyst. Now this is much better because look at the wave right now. Now Talon's super desperate to push in, and he can't clear this wave, and it's a cannon wave which is taking so long. And now he's in a really bad spot. Actually, and talking about jungle location, what do we know? We know Elise ganked bot just then, and we know Elise is going to be heading back into her bot side, probably going to her Krugs, maybe Krugs Raptors red. That's most likely what she's going to be looking to do right now. Now, something as well you need to think about when you're playing Twisted Fate, which may be quite difficult, but it is something to think of. When you're resetting like this, what do you need to be thinking about the side lanes right now? You haven't assessed, has bot lane reset? Has the enemy bot lane reset? What's the top lane situation at all? So yeah, you come back here. This is a decent situation because this would dictate what you do with your wave right now, in my opinion. So we know, what are the pieces of information we know? We know that Elise is on bot side somewhere. We know that Kha'Zix is here. I'm pretty sure he's reset once. Alawi's just recalled. Your bot lane's actually just come off a reset. I'm actually unsure if Lucian and, the enemy bot lane is recalled. But the reason that's important is because you have two options here, right? What are your two options? You can freeze, because this is actually going to slow push to you. You can freeze, or you can hard push this and try and look for a ultimate in this small window.
That's not good. Yeah, right? That's not good because my lanes are losing, and yeah, I think it's better to freeze.
But I want to introduce a concept to you, which may be something you haven't thought about. And this is actually for all of you guys who play mid lane versus assassins, who take teleport or even just Twisted Fate with ultimate. This is a big one. So for those of you who've actually played against Twisted Fate, what's the most annoying thing? The most annoying thing, if you're playing an assassin into Twisted Fate, is if the Twisted Fate holds ultimate. It is the most annoying thing. What happens if you're a Talon in this game, but Twisted Fate just doesn't use ultimate and holds it? Well, every single time you go for a roam, you have to take into account that Twisted Fate can just counter your ultimate. He can just counter the gank. So what happens right now, in my mind, when I'm versing a Talon, what I like to do is I actually like to hold my ultimate. I actually like to play reactive Twisted Fate. I like to play reactive Twisted Fate in general, in the sense of I don't like to, unless it's a really, really good ultimate. But look at this. When you use, you decide not to slow push, you try to screw his recall, and then you decide to hard push here. So you hard push, you hard push, you hard push, you look for an ultimate bot here, and then it ends up being, looks not bad.
It ends up in tragedy. It's like everyone's bot, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad because your Kha'Zix is there. My only concern here is that you don't even know this guy's summoners. So if this guy, you wait for the hook, beautiful, okay, that's actually well played, but then Sona rocks out, and then...
I didn't really expect the Sona to be there. Yeah. I was so confused when she
was
there.
So this ultimate is not bad, if we just look at it completely, not taking into account your mid lane. This is actually a decent ultimate in my opinion, because you got your jungler there. We know that Elise is bot side, but you guys could potentially 100-0 this Lucian or someone. In hindsight, though, something that I would think about here is, what do we know about, what are the few things we know about the Elise? We know that Elise is still bot side because her red's going to be coming up very soon. So we know Elise is most likely still bot side. So this is probably going to be a 3v3 or 3v4 with you. But what's the other thing? Well, we don't really know you don't really know the bot lane summoner situation, and you're versing a Lulu. So if you don't burst the Lulu, then Lulu's actually going to be able to make this Lucian survive a long time. So if I'm playing Twisted Fate and I'm reviewing my VOD right now, I would ask myself, why didn't this work? And even if Sona wasn't here, would this have worked in the first place? Because I'm actually
probably
thinking...
not, actually.
Probably
wouldn't.
I actually don't think it works anyway.
No.
So you can say top difference or whatever it is, but I genuinely think this ult's bad anyway. You don't kill this guy. Look how far Kha'Zix is away. We know Elise is already bot side. We're not targeting the Lulu. And even if you do target the Lulu,
you just flayed the Lulu.
Yeah, we don't. I'm pretty sure you don't win this anyway. So then what I'll do in a review would be okay, what didn't I consider? Right? What didn't you consider? You didn't consider Elise's location. You didn't consider the summoners or bot lane. You didn't consider the target selection. Could we even burst them in the first place? None of this, which is fine. You make this play, it fails, whatever. You can learn from it as long as you actually look at the variables what you didn't consider. Now, all on top of this, in my opinion, the worst part of this all is that now Talon knows that you don't have ultimate, you've just failed your first ultimate, and you have no way of dealing with his roams at the moment. So, let's go back. So let's just say this is the disaster that happened. And in my reviews, what I would do is, holy shit, this was an absolute disaster. Let's go back and see what other courses of action. So if you view it in terms of like a decision tree. So this is like one path. This is like path one. This is what you've done. Path one, this game. So along the way, there's all these different checkpoints. So this would be like not using red cards, not using wards, not tracking the jungle, not tracking summoners, and using ultimate bot. This is like this path one. So then you're going to have all these different paths. You're going to have like path 2, path 3, path 4, path 5, like all these different paths about what you could have done better. Now what I actually like to do is now I like to go back in these, like, view these as like checkpoints. I like to go back to all these checkpoints and be like, okay, where did this all start? And then I would actually try and go even deeper. I would go, okay, at each checkpoint, what were the reasons I made these decisions? So maybe in the early game with the red using red card, that's more of like a micro lane matchup understanding, which is quite easy to fix. The warding, which is a pretty big problem, which contributed to not knowing Elise's location, which prevented you from actually punishing Talon, which is pretty big. Then the lack of wards again, tracking the jungle, because again, and not understanding the bot situation. This is all other things, and then there's ultimate all contributed to this. Now, next thing I want to go back, there's, okay, given this disaster happened, what else could I have done? Now, if we go back here in this situation where you use your TP advantage, you could have quite easily, you know, Elise is in bot side jungle right now. You know that this guy has to reset. You can thin this a little bit, walk into bot side jungle, get a nice little deep ward to spot out where this Elise is, given you have 2 trinkets, you should always be using one of them. And even chuck a red pink ward in the bot dot. You can even start communicating. You can start looking for early, you could maybe just hold your ultimate and start looking for early dragons, sneak early dragons with Kha'Zix. I don't know, but this would just be the perfect opportunity to control the game. Essentially, this is what I would when I play Twisted Fate. I just want to control the game. I want to control the game through jungle tracking. I want to control the game through warding. I want to control the game through getting small minion advantages in mid. I want to do all these little things that make the game really hard to play for the enemy team. So right now, if you think about it, even if you went out of vision and warded bot side, maybe you actually went deep and you warded on the red. Maybe you warded like on the red or something. You warded on the Krugs. You did something like that to spot out the Elise. Maybe that actually would have completely changed the decision of this roam bot. Because maybe Kha'Zix and the bot lane actually didn't know Elise was there. When if you're a really good mid laner, you would know most likely Elise is in the area for that gank, right? Like you could just put 2 and 2 together about his jungle tracking. Now, you opted in for this not freeze. The reason I don't agree with this, and like I said before, and we'll see what happens later in the game, is when you use ultimate, Talon has free roam. So let's fast forward this game even more. So this is what happens. So you go for this gank, it fails, you go back mid, Talon ends up catching top wave, right? Pretty standard stuff.
I didn't ping missing. I wasn't really paying attention.
No, I think that's. I mean, he walked over a ward. Like it should be pretty expected from Alawi anyway. So I think that's not too bad.
We saw him there.
And this pink doesn't make any sense either. Doesn't do anything, I don't think.
Maybe if Talon would like jump over the wall to roam bot, it would spot him.
But I think he's just gonna have pressure anyway. I think he's gonna just go through the river. In my opinion. But okay.
But then I couldn't defend my ward if he just took it.
I think pinking. I would pink this bit. Personally, I would pink. Wait, if I go here, I would actually pink here. That corner.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that, but Talon and Elise is gonna have so much pressure early game, and we have like Kha'Zix TF is like.
I actually think you don't have to give too much pressure, honestly, though, in this lane 1v1. Well, think about it.
1v1 is fine. It's fine 1v1, but Elise is just broken.
Yeah. I mean,
she does too much damage.
Yeah, but I still think at least if you attempt to control vision, because right now you still could have got vision out. Think about it. Talon.
I could have warded now.
Like
maybe I wanted to reset for a blasting.
Because like even right now, you know Talon's top side. You could have easily just held onto your pink, got this mid wave, moved into the bot river, chucked a pink in the bot dot brush, chucked a ward over the raptor. You know, most likely Elise is going to be topside at the moment anyway, or reset going topside. Like, I think I would rather attempt to control river than completely give it from the start anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, let's just say you do put your pink in this bot dot brush, right? And let's just say Elise goes topside, he goes topside, whatever. She then maybe looks for a gang top, she resets, she comes bot. That might actually save your team regardless. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they clear it, whatever. And maybe spot out Talon, he clears it once, whatever. By the time that happens, you're probably going to be reset anyway, getting a second pink ward. Like, a lot of the time, yeah, a lot of the time, this early in the game, like, I wouldn't be putting that defensive as a pink. Like, I would way prefer try and contest, because you're not that behind, you personally. If you were really far behind, maybe you'd already died and Talon had already snowballed, then yeah, maybe. But you can still have a fighting chance in this game to contest 2v2. Like, I don't think it's the end of the world. And again, remember, like, Elise only has threat if you don't know where she is. I personally think that and this is why Twisted Fate is a champion that does require jungle tracking. Because if you play extremely scared and, like, I don't know where Elise is, I have to give all pressure, then there's no point in playing TF anyway. Because then you're just going to lose. It's like playing Azir. I did an Azir guide. It's like, if you can't jungle track on Twisted Fate, you give all pressure, they just roam to the side lanes, you're just going to be on the back foot the entire game. But anyway, look what happens because of this, actually. So we fast forward a little bit more. Sona stays mid. Talon comes back mid. Now, okay, this is not too bad. Red carding much better.
I'm waiting so I can ward in the middle of the lane when his sweeper runs out. To see where he roams. Or at least that's what I was thinking I would do.
Okay. Fine. You can use your red card now.
He's just gonna ignore me.
And now look at this. See how he roams here? And you don't have ultimate? If you have ultimate here, this actually changes things a lot. This is what I love to do whenever Talon. If you have ultimate here, you can counter gank this. You could have done something. I mean, who knows? Like, maybe they look for a dive. Something happens here. Look, Talon's like diving bot lane or some shit. Like, all this stuff. You could just be pushing mid right now. You could literally just be pushing mid. And yeah, they escape, but, you know, all I'm saying, it's like what you could have got from this. And this is the way I like to view it, because then what happens, if this Talon roams, you assess the situation, you pan your camera, and you're like, okay, is Talon going to get a kill? Yes? Okay, maybe I should use my ultimate defensively, maybe look for a kill, chain CC, use my ultimate to spot out Talon in the ultimate itself, because you know how your ultimate spots out him in his ultimate as well. All these things. And on top of that, then I might pan my camera and be like, you know what? I don't need to ultimate. He's on vision. He walked over vision. It's all good. You get a free reset mid. You could literally get this wave, ping them back, get a free reset, knowing that if the fight gets extended, you have ultimate anyway. But now you've just got a free tempo reset. Right now, Talon's gone for a roam, and you haven't done anything. You didn't get mid wave. You didn't counter gank. You did nothing.
But what I was thinking about this roam is while I was farming the creeps and turret, I saw my ult at 20-second cooldown. I was thinking, should I farm mid until it comes up, or should I just walk bot to prevent the dive, potentially?
Yeah. Well, I actually think in this moment, it's like, I mean, in my opinion, you can't walk. Like, you pan your camera here, I see this. So what do I see? I see this guy's under tower, this guy's under tower, Kha'Zix still has E, he can jump out. Like, it seems all good. Like, it doesn't seem like anyone's going to get bursted right now. But what's more importantly, if you walk into River, you're super vulnerable. Like,
I wasn't gonna commit because I knew that once done and I'm dead.
Exactly. I just feel like either way, it's like I very rarely do this. All I'm saying is, like, from my personal experiences playing Twisted Fate, it just feels so bad. Because it feels bad because you're playing to their game. You know what I mean? Like, you're playing Twisted Fate and being forced to walk into River. And
that's what they want me to do.
They want, yeah, that you're not even doing it reactively with your ultimate. They're forcing you to walk. Like, this is like the worst case scenario. You haven't even got your roller yet. You know? You haven't even got your roller yet. So all I'm saying is that I think this is a result of all the things leading up to this. I think this is a result of not holding ultimate. But I think more importantly here, at this point, something you could potentially work on is just pan your camera instantly, assess the situation, and make a decision. Because right now, when you just walk like this, you don't really know what you're doing. And a lot of the time, this is good on certain champions. This is good on a champion maybe like Azir, or good on a champion like Zoe, or on a champion like Sylas, or good on a champion like what's another one? Galio, or something like that, where even if you walk and hover, because your champion thrives in skirmishes, it thrives in these chaotic things, you're really good at countering these sorts of things, it's not too bad. But remember, you're Twisted Fate. A Catalyst Twisted Fate with no ultimate. You don't have teleport. You really need to get to your Roa, and you need to make this guy make a decision. And you know how I was talking about before about like those decision trees and like a feeling. You know, if you watch this in this moment, listen to your feelings in the game. This doesn't feel good, right? Like the actual feeling you get.
No, this feels real. I knew at this point that I was probably not gonna get anything if I go there.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I really don't want my team to die.
Exactly.
That would be so bad.
Okay, so you don't want your team to die, but it feels bad for you. Beautiful. So you've like you know that feeling, right? Whenever I feel like that, Zappa, that's when I review. That's what I review. Like for you guys watching, when you guys play a champion, there's certain decisions in the game that feel bad. You get that sick feeling in your stomach or something. You're like,
actually accurate.
yeah, it's like a sick feeling. It's like, holy shit, I'm like nervous. I don't want this shit to happen. Just please go away, you know? That's how I feel in this moment. When I'm watching this, I feel sick watching this. I'm like, holy shit, this is
I know exactly the feeling. Yeah.
This is not what I want to happen in this game. So then I would review and be like, how could I have navigated how could I have either A, navigated this potential situation better, or B, prevented it in the first place? I want to cover two. B, like I said, holding ultimate versus Talon is extremely effective, especially since you want to get to your Roa as well. But more importantly, like the speed of your decision making here as Twisted Fate in these situations, you have to give. This is your punishment for using ultimate early and giving Talon pressure early and hit like all those things happening. Think about it. This was a chain reaction of Talon roaming top, being able to get that kill, and you failing your ultimate bot. This is the sacrifice. So it's like, you have to accept reality that, okay, I can't really do anything at the moment. This is out of my control. Accept reality. You pan your camera, you ping them back, they're done, go mid, shove out, reset, get a tempo base. At least then, you're going to be able to help your team on the back end, right? Because you're going to have so much tempo on this Talon. You're going to have your Rod of Ages. You're going to be... Because if you got that next wave as well, you're also going to have a pink ward. You're going to be completely free to do whatever. You could set up another gank. You can get some deep vision. There would be so many things. But right now, there's no advantage created. Talon comes back. Elise has river control. At least starts basing on vision, so you're lucky. And now it's a lot harder for you to get a reset, right? So that's kind of how I view Twisted Fate. And I feel like, you know how we're talking about identity? Identity of a champion? When I view this decision, walking into river like this as a Twisted Fate, with this much gold and this item, versus Talon and Elise, this is not coherent with Twisted Fate's identity. Twisted Fate either wants to play for 100 to 0 burst pick, or front to back, like a front to back team fight where you're peeling your 80 carry. This is neither. Like, yes, there's some rare situations where you have to do this sort of thing, but it really just doesn't make sense, and it just digs yourself a hole.
Another thing, one of the things that I was thinking when I was getting this bad gut feeling when I was moving bot lane, I was just, I got some PTSD from earlier times when I just stay mid and push like I should have been doing.
Yeah. Mm.
And they die and they say, TF live, TF alive.
Yeah.
TF ult, 10 seconds. TF
alive. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that, but
even though it was the right choice.
Yeah, I mean, but then there may have been choices here where, like, if you did have ultimate here, though, maybe there was a world in which you could have, you might be able to counter gank this with ultimate. You know, like, there's all those types of things. But I think in this specific situation, and I think this specific situation will come up a lot, where you don't have ultimate, you haven't hit your power spike, you don't have, and you're versing these really chaotic champions, you just have to accept reality. This is the punishment from letting them get to this position in the first place. And this is this is basically compensation. This is compensation right now, all this. So yeah, you just basically want to minimize this happening as much as possible. And the way I actually like to view this is an analogy is like this is just like a long-term trade-off. It's like, okay, I'm making a sacrifice here for a benefit in the future. And this is in pro play. There's an example of this in pro play. Ready? So let's just say your bot lane 2v2 in pro play is losing, okay? And maybe you're slowly losing the game. You're in a this is like we watched TSM versus C9, whatever. This was exactly what happened. Let's just say your bot lane, TSM's bot lane is losing 2v2. Now, I'll draw on the minimap here. They lose 2v2, and maybe their mid lane's also losing 2v2, and just the game's not going well, okay? A lot of the time, sometimes you actually see these guys 2v2 bot, they need to find a way to get gold to their key item spikes, and they're willing to make a trade. They're willing to make a trade. So what will happen a lot of the time, maybe they know, TSM know, maybe TSM's on, so they say TSM's on red side here. And they're TSM, and we got C9 on the bot side here. TSM probably know that C9 at 8 minutes are just going to swap. They're going to swap top. They're going to play for this Rift Herald, and they're going to, they're going to look to go to this Rift Herald. They're going to swap. Then the top lane is going to go bot. Instead of matching, sometimes these guys will just make the trade. It's like, okay, cool. You want Rift Herald? We can't fight you anyway. We're just going to slowly lose the game if we match you. Let's just make a full trade.
Yeah, I get the analogy of what you're trying to say.
Like, we'll just make a trade. They'll stay bot. They'll just trade for like bot tower and dragon. They'll get like dragon and bot tower, and they'll trade for top tower and Rift Herald. Yes, the enemy gets a bit of gold over you. Yes, it's not a great trade, but it's better than any trade because you're slowly losing anyway. That's the exact same for these situations. Like, okay, yes, it's like making the best of a bad situation. If you just play defensively and reactively the whole game, you're never going to be able to create the conditions to do anything. At some point, you have to make a sacrifice to create a condition to make a play. And that's what I'm talking about here. It's like, yes, if your jungle dies here and you get pinged, cool. But then at least you get a tempo base, and on the back end, you can maybe gank top, you can gank top bot, you can get some deep vision after that, you can, whatever you can do, at least something. But if your jungler dies here and you compensate and you get nothing, it's like a loss for everyone involved. So that's basically the way I like to think about it. Anyway, went on enough about that. So he comes back.
I disrespect him a little bit. And he gets my flash.
See, so that's a perfect example as well. You know why he does that? Look. It's because you just pull a blue card.
Yeah, I was trying to outrange his Q and get the blue card in.
And yeah, this is so big. Again, your card is your only form of self-peel. Whenever any assassin sees you pick a blue card like that, if this guy sees you like just flick through them, and what I would do in this situation, I would either use red card on a minion and try and poke him, or just flick through them. If he stands up, I'd use a gold card and then Q, but I would never use blue card at this point. You only want to use blue card if, the wave's already towards you and you're just playing for mana. Very rare
I was just disrespecting him there. I was trolling really hard.
It's not. So you play his ultimate. I'm assuming he looks for a reset here.
I guess the correct term would be limit testing.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what, like, if you just didn't know the range, then that's fine. Like, you can just review that. It's a quick fix.
I know it's short range. I was trying to outrange it and get the blue card on him.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a big deal. That's a quick fix. So your bot lane gets a kill. It's really, really big. Okay, look at this. Talon ends up roaming top here.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Okay, so what does that mean for you?
It means that I'm gonna have tempo mid.
Massive tempo. You're gonna have big tempo right now. It's beautiful. You see Elise
doing Elise things.
You have ultimate here, so you start panning bot. Okay. Talon is still top. That's another thing you should be noting right now. Talon is still top.
Yeah. It doesn't look gankable, so I just go back mid.
Yep, I agree.
And, yeah. Someone pings me. But I know, like, what's the best play here, honestly. I can't really go bot, I think. I should be looking bot,
yeah,
though,
I think you should be looking bot here regardless. Like, there's nothing else for you to look at anyway. Like, I don't know what that bot situation is now. Like, they're under tower.
Yeah, Elise is probably looking to dive. But I want to push out mid so Talon loses more.
Yeah. See what you do now.
Maybe I shouldn't have taken that creep. I should have been moving bot and just got the XP.
I think regardless here, like, I mean, your decision may have been right, but I think as a principle, just Penny or Camera here to see it anyway is probably worth it. Because, I mean, there may be a situation here where they overextended. Maybe Lucian dash forward or at least use repel or that would, like, really inting whatever. And you could have, like that guy was so low. Like, we don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
But
this ward is pretty good, actually.
yeah, it's a good,
like
it's a decent ward. Okay.
I don't really know what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of derping around, not doing anything at all.
Well, at this point, I mean, at this point,
I
it's...
don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing now.
So at this point...
Maybe I should go bot.
Nah. So your job right now... Your job is to try and keep down this talent as much as you can. But more importantly, just hold your ultimate. Hold your ultimate for defensive purposes. You need to be that really annoying champion that prevents all dives. It's like Galio. It's like Galio with ultimate is so annoying to deal with because if they just dive, then you're just going to be there. So that's what I'd be looking to do right now. And then try and peel because your team scale is not bad. I mean, it doesn't scale pretty good.
Yeah, our team's pretty good scaling.
I mean, they have Sona, but they also have just Talon and Elise and Lulu. But I mean, you guys have Alawi.
The thing is, they have Lulu and they have Sona.
Like,
and Sona and Lulu is pretty good with Talon and.
Yeah, but you guys have split threat. I don't think they can actually deal with like you. They have better team fight, but you guys have better 1-3-1 by far because none of them have TP.
I mean, Ilaoi isn't the best split pusher ever. Like, she doesn't really take turrets fast. Like,
yeah, I guess. But I mean, you're not gonna win, but it's like better than nothing, right? I mean, what's your other suggestion? Like FF.
yeah,
You know?
dodge the game.
Well, it's like the game's definitely winnable. Like people make mistakes.
I could have made a lot of different things this game that would have.
Well, the game is still winnable.
Big.
Like Alawi is a champion that can be really annoying for them to deal with. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about this. So what do we know here? We know that they're on bot side here. We know that they're most likely doing Dragon. So I'm assuming Kha'Zix is maybe looking for a trade. That's why Kha'Zix is doing Rift right now, because he probably thinks that they're going to be on Dragon. So what should will you be doing right now? There's no need. There's no.
Now maybe
just get a ward.
Boots and everything to him.
I would just use your trinket, man. I would honestly just use your trinket on top side right now. Like that was your free opportunity.
If I use it in the middle of the lane, then Talon's just gonna see it and take it.
Yeah, he's got sweeper. I would just, I right now, like I would actually just ward top dot, because you can't contest bot river vision anymore anyway. Like at least have one side where you can do you have something, because it's just you're just not going to be able to use it otherwise. But anyway,
True. I'm just when I'm playing this game, I'm just trying my best to stay calm, even though our team is losing and I haven't participated in any kills and everything.
It's not. I mean, again, this is not the end of the world. I definitely wouldn't be basing right now though, because Kha'Zix is on Rift and yeah.
I really don't want to port in there because I will die. So. And I don't want to help him.
Yeah, I think that's good.
That I helped him or what?
No, I think it's good that you didn't ult it, but I think that you should still stay on the map regardless because things are happening. Like, I don't think it's desperate for you to base right now. Because think about it. If you just base right now, I mean, you can't counter gank bot if they dive bot after Dragon. If Sona goes... Because if Sona goes on her own top here, you could actually just kill top. Like, I mean, your team is looking to do things at the moment. It's doing things. He's getting top tower. They're getting bot farm. He's getting Rift. There's no reason for you to base. Like, you don't really get much either way. I think, like, when I play mid, I always try to time my bases unless it's really desperate. Yes, you still have 3 corrupting pots as well.
Yeah, I'm full resources.
Like, there's no need. So, like, this is that analogy where it's like Ford versus Ferrari. It's like, if you go to the pit stop, it's like, it's always a sacrifice. There's always a sacrifice involved with basing. It's not just it's not a zero-sum game. They get more room to do things on the map because you're not there. So let's say hypothetically, I don't like doing this a lot of the time, but hypothetically, we know that they're just finished Dragon. Most of the time right now, this Talon's actually going to roam bot side, and they might actually threaten bot dive. Okay, let's just say that happens. You guys can make a trade. Maybe Sona shows top, and you guys can actually ult top. There's 3 plates. Kha'Zix gets Rift, actually ults top, and then you guys can actually make a trade from bot tower and top tower. Okay? Or Alawi has TP, you have ultimate, they get seen over the ward, and then you guys counter gank with your ultimate and Alawi TP, and you clean up, and then Kha'Zix goes top side by himself, gets 2 plates, gets a full tower with his Rift Herald. Cool. Either way, maybe Talon goes top side by himself, fails his ultimate, you have ultimate, you guys burst in with your ultimate because you see him with your R. Maybe you get a pick or deny him, stop him from, scare him enough that he isn't able to stop this guy from doing Rift. Or maybe Talon goes topside with Sonar, and then Elise tries to solo dive bot, and then you counter gank with your ultimate, knowing that Talon's topside. These are all things that could happen in solo queue, theoretically, if you don't base here. And all I'm saying is that it's very important as a mid laner to identify when you should and shouldn't base. And generally, the main thing I look at is, do I have full resources? Yes. Do I really need an item? No. Is my team doing something? Yes. So I probably shouldn't base right now. So he goes, he survives. It's fine. Now Allow is coming. Get Rift here. Okay, we get Rift. It's not too bad. Not the end of the world. You get this. Okay, it's good that you guys got Rift. It helps you guys a lot, but definitely came at a cost. All right.
Sure.
Yeah, so this game, I mean, again, this is all those early mistakes just screwed your team up pretty hard. Are you tipping behind here? Okay. Not too bad. Yeah, shutdown. So you go that, you get this. No. Okay. Get this. Okay, could be good. I like it. Go. Double kill. Nice.
Is that gross score?
Nice. This is not too bad, man. You're playing. I love this. I think you're playing much more calculated. I mean, these are all calculated plays. You're just waiting. You're not really doing anything special. And this is the benefit of Twisted Fate. It's a very good reactive champion when behind. When you're playing behind, and when you're playing behind on Twisted Fate, you don't have to do anything crazy. A lot of the time, you just be that really annoying stun bot. When they overextend, they get greedy, they do something wrong, then you can punish.
Yeah, that was the worst. I was looking for a play like that because that's the only ult that I can. So
actually, that's actually a point I want to talk about. This is the perfect example of something to do when behind. So I get questions a lot asking, Curtis, what do I do when I'm behind? This is the perfect example. So generally what happens is that when a team is ahead, they progressively play more sloppy. A lot of the time, they will overextend, they will get greedy, they will overstay with a lot of gold. A lot of things generally happen. So, Twisted Fate is the master of catching people, obviously because he has point and click CC, which allows other people to follow up, which is very, very threatening. Forces people to build QSS, which again, which then actually lowers their damage curve, that lowers their damage spike, and actually helps your AD carry or other people to get back in the game because they're having to sink, what is that, 1100 gold or something into a QSS, which is also really big. And the fact that, yeah, and the fact that TF can literally be anywhere on the map with his ultimate, basically. So, super, super annoying to verse when he's actually a good champion from behind when your team's behind, if you're farmed. And you're farming not too bad. Then this happens, and then again, reactive gameplay. You're going mid. You see that Talon has push off mid, but then you see Alawi's got a really, really good trade. You know that Talon's going to be here. But you have ultimate. Sona's bot. Yeah, this is really nice. Okay, fast forward. Okay, so at this point in the game, when you're basically the only strong member, I think you and Alawi are actually both quite strong. Again, your main objective is to hold your ultimate for reactive plays, in the sense of like make it really annoying for the enemy to dive, create like what you're doing now, create enough side pressure to make someone react, and use your wards that allow to help you push your limits in the side lane to create enough pressure as possible. Beautiful. He's there. You want to defend mid. Defending mid's actually really big. I like how you come mid here. Nice. Dude, this game, like, you guys are coming back.
Yeah, this is kind of winnable, but if I remember correctly, then late game just rolls around and they have 2 supports, and I wanted to split push, but it didn't work. I think that's how it was. Because I don't want a team fight like versus their comp, and they're ahead as well. So, but yeah, we'll get to that later.
That's why I'm just going back here to look at the lane assignments. Why were the lane assignments so screwed? Why is Kai'Sa bot this whole time? So Kai'Sa goes straight. Why doesn't he go mid? Okay, this happens. Fine. Kai'Sa gets free farm. Then Thresh, they kill bot. I think right now, we need to call lane assignments. Like, Lucian, I mean, Kai'Sa has to be mid. Alawi needs to be in a side lane.
You cut out there for a while. I couldn't hear
Oh,
you.
sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
I was just saying, like, the reason I was looking at this whole thing, I was just going back to see the lane assignments. What I was seeing is that Kai'Sa's in the side lane for so long, and Alawi's just sitting mid. So, yes, it's important. I mean, for me, when I'm behind in a game, my number one objective, there's 2 objectives, like I said, with Twist Phase. Use your hold your ultimate to be reactive, but more importantly, you need to try and hold this mid tower, right? Your mid tower is extremely important. And also your usage of your wards is really weird. You don't use wards often.
In this game, I actually now see that I didn't use, but I'm typically better,
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
I don't always have 2 words.
So what I was going to, the point that I was going to try and say here was, okay, when I'm in a game and I'm behind, people are going to be tilted, things like that. They may not listen to you. And again, this is something that, like, I mean, there's only so much control you can have on a game. But what I would be telling my team is, like, I'd be saying, we need Kai'Sa mid. We need Alawi in the side, and we need Kai'Sa mid, essentially. Because if Kai'Sa is not mid and Alawi's stuck mid, then the game's kind of screwed, because he's like your only form of pressure. Because then if you can 1-3-1, then there's going to be options. But at this point in time, if Alawi's mid, then there's no pressure. So what actually happens here? Kai'Sa goes mid, finally. What is happening? But why is Kai'Sa going... Why is Alawi mid so much? Alright, we're just grouping. I like it. Good grouping. Play front to back here. Let's flash.
And Mikkel's as well.
That's really big. Ooh. Your team can play these front to back fights with Alawi. So nice. There we go.
I wonder if I ult or not. No, it wasn't worth it.
Nah, it's not. He played as well. Front to back's really nice. Alright, Alawi finally goes to the side lane. Beautiful.
We see Talon going there. I won't get anything if I stay bot, so I should just go to my team. I will just get another creep wave.
Wait, sorry. So we're going back here. This happens. You go to the side lane.
I don't know why I'm going bot. I should be going mid right now. Actually, I get the turrets, it looks like. was trying to be a hero.
Holy moly. Okay, let's go all the way back here. Because what I would like to do sometimes, because sometimes if I'm doing a VOD review, what I'll do is I'll play it out. And then what I'll do is I will see what happens. And I'm trying to think about, okay, why would I make this decision? And then I'll go, why did or didn't this work? So this was, I would say this point in time right now, I think what I would actually do is after this reset, I would press tab. I would press tab and I would look at the items. One thing that I haven't seen at all, which is really strange, and what I do all the time, maybe, because I'm trying to think about what I do. You have not assessed item spikes at all. You haven't pressed tab and seen Kai'Sa's items. I don't know how strong Kai'Sa is. I don't know how strong Kha'Zix is. I don't know how strong Illaoi is. I have no information. So I don't know if you guys actually win the fights or not. Because right now, you know that Lulu Mikhails is down for a little bit. You know that Lulu and Lucian don't have flash. I mean, Kai'Sa's been free farming the side lane, getting plates, got tower, got shutdowns. Kai'Sa actually could be on 2 items by now, right? I'm hoping she's actually on 2 items. If that's the case, I think you guys actually might win a front-to-back fight at this point. Because Elise in a front-to-back's quite useless. You guys have a lot of chain CC. And even Illaoi is super strong in a front-to-back fight. And Sona might not be spiked yet. So I actually think you guys might be in a decent spot right now. But I don't know this. Because if this is the case, then it actually changes this completely.
How would if let's say Kai'Sa was really strong right now with items, how would that even change my playstyle?
How it would change is right now I would be pinging, spam ping, bang, 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 which wouldn't change anything. This is what you should be doing anyway. That Talon's coming. I would get this wave. And then I'd instantly ult here. I'd try and oh, okay, Kha'Zix's already dead. But what I would be looking to do is, instead of being in the side, my ideal game plan would be, I'm just happy to sacrifice CS in the farm just to play the front-to-back fight so Talon doesn't make a pick. So right now, what's the other alternative of not being here, Zappa? The other alternative is you literally running down straight mid, walking into top river with your team, and looking to potentially protect this Rift Herald or play the front-to-back fight around top river, right? But what's the downside? The downside is that Talon could just sit bot. But if Talon sits bot, you guys get free Rift Herald. And so then Talon has to make a choice. Talon has to push and move. Yes, maybe you lose a wave of CS, but then he's going to be late to the fight. And the front-to-back fight, the 5v5, actually gets forced on your terms because then they're running into you as Illaoi. So a massive misconception about Twisted Fate is that he's just always a split pusher in mid-game. That's just not the case. Yes, one of his biggest strengths is his ultimate, but again, depending on the game state, Twisted Fate can also play front-to-back fights extremely well. His ultimate is a really good form of self-peel in the sense that you can see Talon in his ultimate. And he's got one of the most reliable forms of self-peel, which is Gold Card. So you don't always have to play Twisted Fate like a split pusher. So that's the options here. I'm just weighing up in the moment. Because what's the sacrifice here? Because you're not here, they're walking into top river. You would be with them right now. Talon wouldn't be there. Maybe at least would or wouldn't have been able to get the pick. I'm not sure. But now you guys don't get the 5v5, which just happens. Then you decide to stay bot. You kind of have to stay bot at this point and make the trade. So I think given what happened, this is the right play. Because, you know, Kha'Zix is dead anyway. So you're not going to be able to take that team fight. Do you see where I'm coming from though, Zappa?
I see.
Like I'm just trying to be a little bit more like, yes.
It's just a lot to take in right now, so I'm trying to process all the information.
Because you're really tired, right?
I actually became a little bit more awake than I was when you called me.
That's
because
good.
This is so exciting.
So for those of you watching this stream, what I'm trying to get at here is that one thing I'm really passionate about, and what I'm really trying to get across in a lot of my coaching or when I do these free coaching sessions, I'm trying to show you how many different levels there are to the game. The game, yes, this game could just be a 15 or jungle difference or, you know, mid difference or bot difference, whatever. You can call it whatever you want. Or we got outdrafted. there's always things you can do to adapt. This is what, like, the game, League of Legends is inherently chaotic. The games are never going to be played out perfectly. It's just the way solo queue is and League of Legends is. So your job is to identify what are the conditions. How can I adapt my gameplay to create more favorable positions? So like that's what I'm doing right now. In my brain, what I'm trying to do is go through what are the options here. You don't view the game as Twisted Fate is a split pusher. I have to split push. No, like there's so many different ways. And what I'm saying, and in order to make the correct decision, the main point I'm trying to get across here is that there hasn't been Zappa actually hasn't looked at the information to be able to make the right decision. So I'm just thinking, what do? I would press tab all the time. You haven't timed summoners at all from that last fight. There was no one timing summoners on Flash, on Lulu, and Lucian, which are absolutely massive. No one's pinged the timer on Mikhail's, actually pinged when she uses it, because then again, you can figure out when she doesn't have Mikhail's. I haven't seen at all what Kai'Sa's item spikes are. I have no idea how strong Alawi or Kha'Zix are, or weak anyone else is on the other team. I have no information. So even if I want to start engaging myself, look, even Kai'Sa's actually a level up on Lucian right now. So I'm assuming Kai'Sa's actually pretty strong. So I don't have the right information to be able to make a good macro game call, because I just don't have the information in the first place. So when you go to the side lane here, if you're split pushing, the inherent assumption when making this decision is my team can't get engaged on. It's either one of two things. My team can't get engaged on. We don't win the team fight. There's no objective to be played around. But what do we know? We don't know if we win the team fight. My team probably can get caught out engaged on because they have Sona, ult, Elise. They have a lot of pick, and Talon's quite got a lot of mobility. And there is an objective. There is a Rift Herald up. So either one or two things happens here. There's actually a few things. TF pings back on this Rift ages ago. Here. TF, Zappa makes the call, ping back on this Rift Herald, and just farm. Trade the Rift Herald off for farm. Tell Kha'Zix to hover you bot side here, or maybe tell your Kai'Sa and...
Wouldn't it be bad for Kha'Zix to hover me, because Talon's just going to escape and we lose 2v2? Or what do you
No, but well, I don't think there is going to be a 2v2. My theory is that they're probably just going to be playing for Rift Herald at this point. Because think about it. That's my point, is that if you trade this off, let's just see about what happens if you trade this off. Kha'Zix, after these Krugs, goes down here, and then Thresh and Kai'Sa hover into here. This means that you guys can potentially get these camps or hover into bot river. Then if Talon then walks into river here, you can either ultimate, try and force him, pick him off, or maybe Talon is just going to be scared in general because Kha'Zix, Thresh, Kai'Sa are going to be walking into bot river here, which means, okay, either they try to chase you back, they don't get Rift Herald, or maybe 2 or 3 people stay on the Rift Herald, Elise and Talon try to force a fight, and then maybe you guys look for a 4v2 or something like that. I don't know. All I'm saying is that this play, when you split push at this moment, when we're split pushing, it's telling me, what this play is telling me that your team can't get engaged on, you don't want to play the fight of the Rift Herald, yeah, and or whatever, like I said before. So all I'm saying is that I think it's better just to trade this off if this is what you want to do. Give this Rift Herald, ping here, assist me, ping danger on Talon, and just push all the way deep to tier 2. Knowing that most likely Elise is going to be topside for this Rift, and that's where he was. Elise was topside for that Rift.
I was counting on Elise not being here.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe assumption.
It wouldn't make sense, yeah.
Yeah, it's a safe assumption. And I like it that you're pushing your limits here. You should just keep pushing. And again, your team shouldn't be doing this. And like I said, if you wanted to contest this Rift Herald and you wanted to play the team fight, you wouldn't be here in the first place. You would actually just be grouping mid. You would be grouping.
I don't want to group. At this point, I don't want to group because we're gonna lose.
Okay, well,
most likely.
I mean, I don't agree with that because I don't think you have the information to make that call. I mean, it may be the case, but you don't. I don't think
should have looked.
You don't have the information to make that call. Like, I don't know what the items are, so it's hard for me to say.
How the game felt. I just felt like our Kha'Zix is really weak.
Yeah, but you got to remember that Lulu and Lucian didn't have flash. In my opinion, you have a lot of burst. That's pretty big. I mean, I don't know what the cooldown of Mikhail's is as well, but I mean, all I know is that It's not going to be as bad as you think it is, in my opinion. But but again, you're versing a Sona. It probably isn't wise to team fight. I agree. It probably isn't wise to team fight 5v5. But in that case, just trade it off. It's no harm in trading it off.
I should have been more proactive with pushing the wave, so I would have more tempo with the wave as soon as I saw that Kha'Zix died in the river.
But this is a good play given what happens, and then Talon comes, you push your limits. I really like it. Allows you to get out, and then you're like, okay, cool, we got a man advantage. So you use the man advantage here. You come mid, and I like this. I really like this. Beautiful.
I know that at least has no stun, so I can before they blow more stuff, I can use my Sonias.
Nice. I like it. Good play.
Yeah.
So this is really good, and that's a lot better. Like, you've done something, you've made them react, then you've created a man advantage. Exactly what you want to be looking to do when you're playing Twisted Fate here. Close. I just think that could have been done anyway without Kha'Zix in your team having to die at Rift Herald. But it's a lot of responsibility there. You're not always going to be able to control them all the time. So fast forwarding.
But pause and let me think this through.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the game, what really made this game hard to begin with, which is one of the most important things, would my wave control when Talon backed and I was just hitting 6 and I ported bot failed.
Yes.
That was probably like none of this would have even been the case if or probably wouldn't have been this bad.
You're spot on. Like generally I don't review the game past this point. I generally wouldn't review too much of this. Like at this point for me, like your main habits, I mean the biggest things holding you back from climbing have already been identified. Like, all these things that I'm covering now are just small details. Like, I'm happy to even stop the VOD now and just recap the main things. Because I think this is, at this point, like, it's just game sense. And it's just the fundamentals of Twisted Fate. Like, what would you prefer? Because I think it'd be really valuable to just quickly recap all those things, actually. Of the early game.
Yeah.
Yeah? You want to do that?
Yeah, we can recap. I think we have seen enough of this game.
Yeah. So I want to quickly highlight a few things. So, like we said, the decision tree. So what you said there is exactly what I want to get out of this, and for everyone watching, because of the small little things that Xappa didn't do in the early game, it contributes to bringing about that sort of game. You don't get to this point in the game, 20 minutes. Like here, and be like, oh, my team's just, my Kha'Zix, look at this. You don't just get to this point and be like, oh, jungle difference or bot difference. Like
it should never have gotten to that point to begin with.
Yeah, why is it in this position in the first place? Why is Talon so fed, or why is the enemy so far ahead in the first place? You go all the way back to minute here, first few waves. What could I have done to prevent this? So what's the first thing? The first thing is the usage red cards. Big thing, because it helps you wave clear, keeps the enemy pushed in. It helps you get really, really good poke. It prevents them from engaging on you. It's just a really solid thing. Second thing, warding and jungle tracking in general. Massive. I think this is actually probably the biggest flaw in your gameplay, Xappa. From this VOD anyway. Obviously, I haven't seen all of them, but this is, for me, what I think is the biggest. So, warding at 220 here, 220 to 230 is absolutely essential. So, because you don't ward here, you have to play very, very scared right now. You're not able to use red cards aggressively at this point because you're so scared about where Elise is, which then gives Talon a lot more pressure on the wave like this, which actually allows him to take really nice trades onto you. The other thing here is...
I disrespected him for the Q, but that was just a micro mistake.
Yeah, a little micro mistake here, which, is not too bad. And then, again, not having any information on Elise, you're super scared right now, so you don't really know what's going on, where Elise is, which I think all could have been a lot easier if you were just warded. Elise shows top side there again, so you have a bit of information. And then I believe here this was another. In a second, there was another opportunity here where you actually used the blue card, or was it not? But despite everything, it was not too bad. Like, we're talking all the small details that could have allowed you to be a lot healthier, maybe have him a bit more chunked. Maybe you'd have one more corrupting pot stack, which would allow you to get a little bit better of a reset, potentially. But, it's not the end of the world. Just small little details there. Then, this greedy recall. Then you see Elise bot, so you already know you should be looking at about, like, what he's doing. So is Elise level 3, level 4? Like, what's Elise doing? You take this trade, end up staying in the lane for a while, whatever. You will know now Elise is bot side. You still haven't been able to use the ward, but you come back, and instead of...
This was the worst
this was the
part
big
of the
one.
game.
Instead of holding the freeze, denying this guy's farm, and actually using this as a window to get some deep vision down, get a pink ward in the river, spot out Elise, ping danger over there, give your Kha'Zix a lot more freedom to farm, just holding your ultimate in general versus an assassin unless it's a free kill. And just, again, the other, and which was the first problem in my opinion, but the more important one here at this point would be to this poor assessment of the ultimate itself. So again, because you have no information on Elise, I'm assuming these guys literally don't even know where Elise is because no one knows jungle tracking. Poor assessment of the play itself, because even if Sona wasn't there, I don't think that play works. And then Talon goes topside, gets to kill Alawi, which really shouldn't happen anyway. But, it happens because of all of this anyway. Then, on top of all this, again, there hasn't really been any usage of wards. A really weak defensive pink there that didn't really do anything. And then the compensation at this point where you could have been able to, sacrifice something, your assessment of the actual kill threat. So I genuinely don't think at least they could have killed Kha'Zix here at all. I think you were completely safe to get one more wave or even just reset now anyway without getting that wave and get a really good tempo reset, come back with your ultimate up in 15 seconds with your Rod of Ages. Your ultimate would be up. You'd be really strong. You'd be able to shove in this Talon. You'd have another pink ward, which you could potentially place in the river, play a lot more aggressive, keep this guy pinned in lane. Then disrespecting again Talon here, which gets a good trade onto you. So not only is Talon able to go for a roam and get push on you, that's like the cardinal sin. He gets a good trade onto you, blows your flash, goes for a roam, and like does all that. Like that's like the worst case scenario. Sorry?
Yeah, that's a catastrophe.
Yeah, it's an absolute catastrophe, yeah. And then Talon's top. And then even when Talon overstays top here, like you haven't really created conditions for you to do much. And then here, this was another thing, your camera panning. You have not panned your camera here. I think you missed another opportunity to potentially go bot. And then your weird bases here as well. Oh, and potentially weird base here, which you stopped, but I think basing there was, even looking to base there was bad. So, and then at this point, it's 12 minutes in the game. It's pretty rough. But in I think mid game stuff, I think was not too bad. I think you had a really good idea in your identity of what you want to do on Twisted Fate. I think little things that can be refined is just making a lot more proactive calls, like trading objectives and things like that. But overall, I think your main problems, and this is I genuinely feel like this for most players I watch, even at a D1 master level, is the first 15 minutes. There are so many little mistakes here that are pretty unacceptable if you want to be a master plus. Like, you've just given this guy a free game. So if I were you, straight away, my number one thing I would focus on is jungle tracking. Warding and jungle tracking. Those two things. If you can do that alone, it's going to make your games so much easier. Like, half of your laning phase, you were played scared because you had no idea where Elise was. Your decision making with your ultimates is going to be easier. Your pinging, you're going to help teammates a lot. Your warding is going to be a lot more efficient. Like, everything about your gameplay is just going to be so much easier. Like, you're going to find the game just feel fun. Like, I hate playing mid when I don't know what's happening with the jungle. I hate it. It just feels terrible. And so for anyone who plays, for anyone who plays any mage, you play Ori, Twisted Fate, Vlad, Azir, any of those champions, jungle tracking will make your life 10 times easier. And that's why most people play champions like Echo, Kassadin, Galio, Katarina. It's because their jungle tracking is dog shit. And
they don't need it.
They don't need it. And they can get away with it. And then when they pick mages, they int because their fundamentals are so bad. They get away with it. But that's why Dopa is able to climb so much as well. Is his jungle tracking is on another level. And he never dies to ganks. So. Oh, and the concept of holding your ultimate against the Talon. big. Any assassin is really big.
Right.
Keep that in
Play
mind.
reactively against
Well, it's like
kinda.
reactive and proactive. It's like you're proactively being reactive, if that makes sense. Like you're holding your ult on purpose because you know that it feels terrible to be a Talon if Twist of Fate just has
If it-
ultimate. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's so annoying. All right, you got any questions before we go into the next session with Ran?
Well, I think it's a great start for me. If you look at my OPGG, just I improved really hard in the beginning. I pretty much jumped straight to master and stuff.
Mm.
But then I actually got challenger for a while, but then I just dropped down and never really improved more. So I think this might just be what I need to do to get to the next level.
Mm. Yeah, I really do think that this is your this is the way to go, man. Like if you can get this done, like if you can work on this jungle tracking, you're going to be absolutely killing it.
And my top lane maybe wouldn't have died to the Elise gank if we had seen him with the ward or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing. That's actually a good point. You say that. You know how if you have you actually watched my jungle tracking video out of interest?
Sorry, what were you saying?
Have you actually watched my jungle tracking video?
I have, but how do I say this? I don't remember a lot, so I need to go watch it again. That's the truth. That's the truth. I wasn't good in school either.
All right. Well, like, because the amount of games I actually saved the amount of games I've actually saved my top laner from dying from ganks or my bot lane of anyone
well,
is
was
just
that the
ridiculous.
video where you discussed if a jungler starts a certain jungle item, they will take this path or something?
Yeah,
like
that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can really, really help you. So, like reiterate, work on your jungle tracking and your warding. Those two things will literally be game changers for you. And then I really want you to keep me updated with that. See how it goes.
Yeah, I'll be focusing on that, and I'll DM you and let you know.
Cool. Cool. I'll keep me updated, and then we're gonna move on to the next session.
Great. Thank you so much. This has helped a bunch and opened my eyes, honestly.
No problem, man. My pleasure. And make sure you rewatch that jungle tracking video.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Cool. All right. Catch you later,
Thank
man.
you so much. Bye bye.
All right. So we're gonna call. Let's check the chat. What's going on? Hey guys, so I'm just looking at the chat while we get to our next person. Our next going to go to sleep. Catch you later, man. Oh, Centraz, I'll reply to your thing in a bit. I just got to time zones are a bit wacky at the moment. After learning Aurelia, are you going to do more AD champion? Yeah, I've done a video on Pantheon, Aurelia. I've done some Kiana. I'm probably going to do some more in the future, but for now, I really want to do a video on Galio. Yeah, the people who've been for coaching, they were winners of the giveaway, but I'll doing more giveaways in the future for sure. Hey Ron, are you there?
Yeah.
Yo. All right.
Nice.
Did you watch that? Were you watching that one or nah?
Yeah. I think Zaba's like TF ults are better than mine.
All right. So what I'm gonna do, yours was actually a YouTube video, which maybe makes it a little easier.
Oh yeah.
So let's get into it. You ready?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna change my scene. Sorry. Can you actually? I need to share my screen with you. Let me share my screen with you.
Yeah.
Share screen.
Is my mic like good by the way, or like?
Ask the
Should I
chat.
adjust it?
Can you guys hear him all good or? Ask the chat.
Hello, chat. Is the mic good?
Is his mic okay for you guys? I'll do some Q&A after this session.
I guess it's good.
I mean, no one's saying anything yet. I think there's a bit of delay.
Yeah.
It's all good? Yeah, it's fine.
Okay,
Sick. All right, let's get it.
nice.
All right. Where do we go? Here we go. All right. So this was a Oriana game. I love a bit of Oriana. So again, I really want to make this like what I would look at if I were to review this myself. But first thing I'll look at straight away, we got. Can you see my screen all good, by the way? Cool. So we got Echo and Zach, and we got Ivan and Oriana. So what do we know about? It's actually first. What I like to do is I like to think about the mid matchup 1v1. So what do we see? We see that you've opted in for Phase Rush, but we've also said that this guy's actually opted in for Teleport. So we know that probably the early game is going to be quite slow, but more importantly, I mean, he doesn't really have much kill threat on you. You don't really have much kill threat on him. But what do we know about the Echo matchup 1v1? We know that Echo is quite weak, level 1 and 2. He kind of needs level 3 and level 4 to be able to do much because his QE combo is not really reliable at level 1 and 2 because he just takes too much damage on the back end of the trade otherwise. He waits for level 3 where he can put 2 points in Q. Or level 4 where he has 2 points in Q, 1 point in W where he can just completely play for the wave. Oriana, on the other hand, is actually quite strong level 1 and 2. He has obviously you have a range advantage. You can potentially slow build a wave. You can poke this person, proc your mana flow consistently, and get a bit of damage down levels 1 and 2. So there's a few ways of playing the lane. You can slow build the wave level 1 and 2 into harass under tower, or you could hold the wave in the middle, make it really awkward for him to break it, which again comes at a sacrifice because that means they're going to have full control over river, but you basically will always be safe. So then to determine how we play the lane, then we also got to look at this jungle matchup. We see that Zach is basically a full clear jungler. There's one or two paths. He's either going to do 3 camp bot side into a gank, so red Krugs Raptors into a gank, or he's going to be doing like something like red Krugs Raptors, Wolves, Blue, Scuttle, like some form of a full clear. Ivan, on the other hand, as well, is one of those champions that really isn't going to be ganking early. I'm assuming he's more of like a full clear jungler, something like that, because his early ganks aren't that good. I mean, he can level 3 gank, but they're not amazing. But most of the time, we probably know this lane is going to be an isolated 1v1 for a long time. So that's already what I'm trying to think right now. So let's get into it. So I remember there was one thing that I saw that I needed to roast you on, Run. All right.
Yep.
You don't have timestamps on.
In chat, right?
Yeah, in chat.
Yeah, that's actually true. And oh my god,
that is like unbelievable, man. You need to get them.
I've never had that one. I've never had that one.
Oh my. That actually makes me mental move. You gotta have them on, man. That's like the first setting. Okay. It's so important.
Next game.
Because how do you time anything?
I just type in chat.
But how do you know when it was?
Because I just press enter and keep spamming them. But it's not worth it.
No, but you don't know when the actual... Like, say you're in a fight and then you blow like you.
Yeah, I can't.
You can't. Yeah. It's so rough. Like you're gonna be off by like a lot of the time.
Yeah, you're right.
You need it.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I will do it.
Yeah. So, okay, the way you play this, because I watched a little bit of the early laning phase. I mean, it's a way of playing it, but you play it very defensive.
Like I played this whole lane basically on my tower. Like
yeah, it's very true. So out of interest, why do you not try and like? Because this guy, he can't do anything to you level 1. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I should be more aggro now. No, he can do anything.
you can literally level 1, you can walk up. I would
Yeah.
actually queue through one of these minions to actually get it slow pushing and just start chipping this guy with your mana flow. Because once your ball
Yeah.
is out here somewhere, it's really easy for you to consistently move it side to side like this. Because level 1 and 2, he can't do anything. He really can't. What this is actually going to allow you to do is at 2 minutes 30, you can actually go for a really nice ward over here on this blue. That's what I would be looking to do. Because then I'll get to know if he's doing a full clear or not.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I failed early levels.
Like, already, this guy's auto-attacking the wave twice without you even throwing a single Q. Like, there's no way this guy should be getting away with free auto-attacking the wave without getting some form of harassment. He just uses Q in your face. You don't even Q him. You just auto-attack him.
Yeah, this is actually boost.
And
Look at this auto, look at this auto. Now I grabbed
yeah, this auto-attack, you should never be doing this either. Right now, this would be good if you had the ball on you, because then you can just ball him, and then these won't take minion aggro.
And I would have actually, I would not have E-passive. Never mind.
So yeah, this is not making much
It's
sense. at the
interesting.
moment. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. Like, it's good to talk about. Actually, rather than me, like, I actually fascinated, like, out of interest, I want to use this as a thought experiment.
Yeah.
How much did you think about how you were going to play this lane 1v1 in the loading screen?
Zero to be honest.
Okay.
It's 0.
All right. So
Yeah, actually.
let's use this as an example. Like, you know, when like a teacher at school, they like gets one kid.
Yeah.
It's like, this guy, you know, they like use one kid as an example. Like, I'm doing that right now.
Yeah.
So for you guys watching on stream, I've done this. I'm guilty myself of doing this. You're in loading screen. Let's go back. You're in loading screen here. And what do we use? What do we sometimes do? We've got our phone there, check our notifications, might be alt tabbing. I'm on Twitter, you might be on YouTube watching one of my videos. You might be talking to a friend on Discord. You might be on Discord, you know, complaining about teammates to your friend, whatever you guys do. And then what happens, you get into the game, you're still kind of alt tabbing, you maybe click to lane like this, and you're alt tabbing still, or whatever. And then you get to the lane, it comes like this, and you just play. You play, right? And you you just see what happens. That's fine if that's a way of playing for a lot of you guys. But what I recommend for actually improving is coming to this point already. I'm already thinking, how do I want to play this matchup? How do I want to play this matchup given this is a jungler, this is my jungler? What am I going to do? Like, what am I actually going to do here? So, because when I was thinking, and then I think as Ran goes into this game, and that's why he's not actively poking with his Q. He's not trying to build a minion advantage to build a slow push into this guy. He's just playing, which, I mean, you can get away with it to Diamond, definitely. You can be Diamond player and definitely do this. But if you want to reliably climb to Master Tier Plus, I think even Zappa is guilty of doing this. If you're to get to like Grandmaster, like, you need to start thinking and improving about how you want to play these matchups, because otherwise this is just going to happen. You're going to play your matchups suboptimally. Okay, there's always better ways. So that's just my opinion on things. I just think right now this isn't you at your best. This is just you in your average game.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is fine. This is good because then we get to see your average level of play. Like, if you queue up, I would say 85% of the time, 90% of the time, this is probably you.
Yeah, true. Like, actually true.
You probably only play your best 10 to 5, probably 10 less, 10% less or less than 10% of the time. You play your best, I reckon. That's most people as well. Maybe they only play their best the first 2 games of the day and they play like 12 games or 15 games, you know, whatever it is.
Actually true.
And that's why a lot of people win their first few games as well. But anyway,
yeah.
So we haven't really got any Q poke off yet, which is not good. Okay, first one, beautiful. There you poked him when he walked up for that minion. Nice. Again, this strategy, what you're doing right now by keeping it in the middle is fine. I think it is a way of playing this matchup. I just don't think it's the best way. I just think you've just given this guy free level 2 without having to use a single corrupting pot.
Yeah.
You know? I just think that there are better ways to do it. But, it's not the end of the world. Like, you're still going to safely scale. He's not going to be able to do much, but it's just a little bit strange. Now, what do we see right now, guys? It's nearing 2 minutes 27. So most junglers, Zac is either, finishing up his 3-camp bot side, walking into bot river. Maybe he's doing 3-camp bot side into a bot gank. Maybe he's doing 3-camp bot side, start to clear top. We don't know what he's doing right now. So this window between 220, 230, I really love to get a ward. Majority of the time, when you're actually able to build ways into poke this guy into tower, it actually gives you a nice little period of time where you can get deep wards onto their raptors or their blue or whatever. But even if you don't, let's just say you've done what Ran's done here, which is just, keep the wave in the middle. It's still completely fine right now to just get this minion and start walking into top river and just get a ward in the dot brush. Doing that is better than nothing. Like, it's better to ward. Like, you need to be consciously warding at this time. If you don't ward at this time, you're going to find it really hard to get a ward at all. You're just not going to have any information. Like, it's just really, really hard. So that's the first big mistake I'm seeing so far. So right now, you have no idea where Zac is. You don't know what path he's doing. Your team doesn't know what path he's doing.
Yeah, and I think it cost me the whole lane because I failed to get info from him, and I just play safe the whole lane.
So this is fine. I mean, but you're just giving Echo a free early base.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think your biggest strength in this lane is the two biggest power strength. Your two biggest advantages over this guy are levels 1 to 3, and then post Lost Chapter. So I think there's a time in between where if you don't get Lost Chapter, then he can start pumping you. But if you poke him early, level 1 to 3, you can actually create a bit of an advantage and force him to get a pretty crappy early base. But anyway, so out of interest, why do you go your runes? I want you to talk me through your runes. What runes did you go and why?
I just prefer Phase Rush, but I don't know if there's better rune.
No secondary. I think Phase Rush is good, but what's your secondary?
Honestly, I didn't know which one to go secondary.
Okay. So, I mean, DMAT is okay, but I personally, if you're playing the lane slow, why not just take Domination and go Taste the Blood, Ravenous Hunter? If you're Taste the Blood, Ravenous Hunter, it scales a lot better. It allows you to stay topped up in lane. Allows you to play a little bit more aggressively. It's just a really nice secondary. If you're playing the lane very fast, on the other hand, then that's where you would go secondary Inspiration with Time Warp Tonic, start Corrupting Pot and Biscuits or something like that. So I think that, given that you're playing it this slow, I don't think that you get much value out of DMAT at all, in my opinion. Yeah. I think that you would just benefit a lot more from secondary domination. Okay. Few things here. So, I mean, so far, straight away, what I'm looking at when I see this laning phase, it's so defensive. There's no reason you're playing like this. It's so defensive, and he's just using his Q like that. I would be walking up here and queuing this. There's no way this guy can just use Q and not get punished. You're sitting on full mana. This, Orianna is a champion. If you sit on full mana, that's a sin. It's a cardinal sin of Orianna. Orianna needs to be using mana. You need proccing your mana flow. You're literally one of the strongest. Look at your range advantage. This guy's literally walking up and CSing in front of your face after using Q on the wave. Look at that. He just used Q on the wave. He has nothing. Yeah. And you're full mana.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. This whole lane I felt so scared for some reason, but it's because I like to get info, I think. Vision. I felt so scared all the time. I'm not scared of Echo, but I'm scared of Zac.
Okay, so
I'm not scared of this guy at all. But I still don't want to poke him for some reason.
So what I would do then, if I were to review this game myself, I'd be okay. I'd look at this VOD and be why am I not doing this out of interest? I'd be how come I'm not utilizing my range advantage? I'm not using my mana. Why am I scared? Okay, cool. I'm scared of Zac because I don't know where he is. Why am I scared of Zac? What could I have done to stop myself from being scared of Zac? And that's where you go back. That's where, I didn't ward at 2 minutes 30. Oh, that makes a lot of sense now. I don't know where Zach is. I have no idea. I have no vision. This is all a result of me not getting vision. So again, I just think this would just solve your problems big time. Because
Like-
the other thing as well is if you actually spent time warding this blue at 230, you know that Zach is going to be 100% bot side doing 3 camp or is on like wolves, because it's very, very, very rare that Zach will do 3 camps straight through here into river. Like that very rarely happens. Zach can do it, but I would hedge my bets that he wouldn't. Like majority of the time he would like go to blue first. So like you can generally hug topside knowing that Zach will most likely show on the blue first. If you're not convinced with that, you can also just walk over here, heavy ward Raptors. So then you have a very heavy side to lean on. Then you know if he's done Raptors and you know if he actually is walking topside or continuing to loop back bot side. Or you can even just ward top dot, and top dot will give you a nice little side to lean onto. Then you'll get to see him on top scuttle if he goes for top scuttle. So either way, any of those wards at around 220 to 230 would have helped you play a lot more aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I just feel like this is just a massive missed opportunity. You've played so defensive.
I just was sleeping the whole lane.
Yeah. So Zach shows
Like, I
bot.
did absolutely nothing. Like,
So look at this. Zach shows bot. He's ganking bot right now. First blood. He got first blood. So you know what's fascinating is that if you had warded Raptors, like
yeah, I could save them. Yeah.
you could have saved bot lane
Yeah.
a lot of the time. A lot of the time, you can actually ping the jungler's location for your laners. It's so simple because no one does it.
Yeah.
It like literally wins people games. I win people games of just tracking their jungle. Anyway, so now he's bot side. So you should press tab right now and see his path. What is his path? So you press tab, you see 12. I don't know if you press tab for that reason. Let's see.
I think it's just a habit. I wasn't like, trying to gather any.
Okay, so you should know that most likely, I think he's done 3 camp bot side, like I said. 12 CS, he's got red buff, beautiful. And look, there's no timestamps as well, which is, oh man, it looks so dirty.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's all good, man. That alone is going to be a big thing. So,
Yeah, true.
okay, so what do we see here? Straight away, again, these Qs, man. Like whenever he's looking, like he's queuing like that, you should be walking up here and like I don't use your Q on abilities. Like you should. I very rarely use my Q to CS unless I really have to. A lot of the time, I'm just using Q to poke him. You know, and I've seen you use Q to last hit abilities, last hit minions so many times now.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
But anyway, you're using your DMATs, like this just feels like so okay, this ward, holy crap, man. Ryan, I'm gonna flame you a bit.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a bit
go,
of a flaming
go.
session, but this is like Zappa. So what do we know? We know Zach just finished his back gank bot side. He's still on bot, so what is he gonna do?
Yeah.
He's gonna go straight. He's either gonna straight recall and go straight onto his top side, or he's going to walk through the river here, get seen by Ivan, and go straight to his, get seen going to his top side. So either way, he's going to be on top side in a while, maybe in like a minute or something like that. So this ward,
It's so meaningless for.
I mean, it doesn't do anything. What does it achieve? It literally does nothing. We know where Zach is. We know where he's going to be for the next minute. So, like, it just does nothing. It just does nothing. And I think freezing, like I mean, it's not freezing, but
I'm giving everything.
yeah. I mean, I just think this echo is really bad. Like, I honestly think this echo.
Yeah, like he could punish me.
Like he's got 3 corrupting pot stacks right now. If I'm him, I wouldn't really care about like you doing this. What I would do like this, I would do something like this where you start using my W on the wave. I've got 3 corrupting pot stacks. Ivan has no threat on me. He can just lean out of vision. Like he can just control. This actually, because he has pressure like this, it actually allows Zach to just walk through here and actually get top scuttle. Your Ivan actually, I think, should have been able to get double scuttle this game. Like, Zach was able to walk from all the way bot to all the way top and get top scuttle because Echo is just shitting on you. But, I mean, it is your strategy here. I just think that if you were going to do this strategy where you're holding it, it's only worth doing this strategy if this guy's genuinely vulnerable and you're getting really nice poke. So, this strategy, what you're doing by holding the wave, is actually good. Think about this. If this guy was, like, having to, like, CS a lot with his Q in lane, because so he's going to be a lot more and he's going to be using maybe like he's already probably used 2 corrupting pots, and it's going to be really hard for Echo to like break this freeze or break this slow push, or temporarily holding it here. He's not going to be able to get a good reset essentially, which is really annoying for him. That's when this strategy is good. But if you're doing this strategy and keeping him full HP, it really doesn't do anything, because he's going to have so much resources that he can just brute force the wave anyway, or he can just get a tempo reset on you and come back to lane without you doing anything. You know, like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't achieve much. So I think this strategy is fine if you're doing it for the purpose of setting up ganks and like harassing them slowly. Because you know how what you can do is like you put your ball here, and then whenever he walks up, you just move it that way. You can like move it inwards like that and just constantly poke. But, you know, it's not too bad. I mean, your ward kind of sees Echo here, so it's kind of doing something. But, I mean...
Yeah, but that's arguable.
You know.
Like, I don't know.
And I like this how, I mean, Ivan goes here, but then and I think you ping out the jungler, so this is good. I like that.
Yeah, I kind of feel sad for my jungle because he can do nothing past river or even river because I just give up everything.
I mean, it's fine as long as you give him plenty of warning and you do that, you ping him off. I really like that. You're taking control of your jungle. It's good. Really good. So the only good thing about your lane so far is that you're basically going to get to a free loss chapter, which is somewhat pretty decent. Your tethering is
I
E.
almost in that.
You should demat this cannon.
Oh yeah, I should do it earlier. I think I do it, but
Yeah.
I should do it right now already. Like I'm hitting it and I still demat it.
Yeah.
Like I think.
Because, like, you know this guy wants to just hard shove this wave in and reset. Like, if you just demat that cannon and make it hard for him, it'll just be kind of annoying for him. But,
Yeah,
you know.
I should not poke him right now. Yeah.
So, this is what I was talking about. Now look at this. Look at the situation he's in. So, after he uses Q on this wave, like that, look at his mana pool. This is what I'm talking about. Like, if he was forced to use more corrupting pots earlier in the lane, this is what he's trying to do. He will try to brute force the wave, but it'll be so much harder for him to do it. So, and this is where you would be able to punish. But because, again, he's been able to sit on so many corrupting pots, he can just freely kind of get it in and brute force you away. So I think this is, you're not really coming out ahead, but you're not really coming out behind. So it's like he gets his early laning phase completed. You also kind of get to your lost chapter. So it's basically a handshake. It's like a handshake agreement. There's basically no advantage when I think there should have been an advantage. And okay, even if sorry, it's a bit early in the morning at the moment.
It's okay.
So, okay, let's just say this has happened in your game, and maybe you weren't sure about how the lane actually plays out. So for those of you guys who are in, maybe you're maybe not as experienced at the game, you may ask yourself, how do I know if I could have played the lane better? So what I would do is this is like that checkpoint, right? This is what I would say. This is a checkpoint. You know, that path where this is like path 1, where this is like path 1 being the end, being like a win or a loss. This is like a win or a loss. At every point in the game, there's major checkpoints, right? So this checkpoint, we're at checkpoint 1, which is like, this is like first recall, right? So what I would do is I would go back to this point and I would say, did this feel good or did this feel bad? And maybe you were agnostic. Maybe you actually didn't even know what it felt. Or maybe you just had no feeling. Maybe you don't know enough about the champion to know if this felt, or this matchup to know if it felt good or bad. But what I would do is I would go back and I'd be like, okay, why have I used 2 pots, not much mana? This guy's, come back with a free recall, with a decent recall. I've been basically pushed in the whole game. In terms of CS, I'm a little bit up. I'm 37. I think you were like 37 to 30, whatever. Or it would be about 40 after this. But I still think these guys played it pretty poorly. I would then go back to this like early portion of the laning phase. I'd be like, how can I play this better? Did I utilize, what's the strength of my champion in terms of my champ's identity? Well, what do I know? I have a range advantage. I'm sitting on full mana. I'm sitting on full HP. Then I would look at one of my first bad trades. And I'd be like, where is it? Where's your first like average trade? Like here. Then I'll go here like, okay, why did I take this trade? Why was this trade really poor? Oh, I didn't respect Echo's E range. Oh, I didn't respect that Echo can do this with W. I didn't respect his whatever it is. And so here in this specific example, it's you not tethering his E range, which is a pretty big mistake. So then I would go back and be like, oh, okay, well maybe that's something I need to focus on. How come I got hit by this E range? Why wasn't I tethering it? Oh, it's because I thought he was going to reset or blah, 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 blah. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper. Oh, why was I in this situation where I'm now on one pot, I'm getting pushed in, they get a scuttle, Echo just gets a free recall on me. Why is this happening? Am I utilizing my range advantage? Or was this just a matchup? Can I even tether his E? Does his E outrange my Q in certain matchups, you know? This is where you go deep. And so I would go back and I would get to that point where he TPs back and just review from that point on. Could I have made this better? And I personally think that things could have been done a lot better, but you know, not too bad.
I agree, actually, like, holy. I should trade L1 and L2, like, aggro.
Yeah.
Just walk up all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so at this point, you're just kind of farming because you really want to get to your lost chapter. So you're just kind of chilling for a little bit here. Yeah. But what's the other thing? What do we know here in terms of jungle tracking, though? What do we know? We know it's 5 minutes. So between 5 and 6 minutes, this is where the jungler will be back onto his rubber banded camps. Okay. So even if you don't know, because think about this, Zach hasn't ganked anywhere else. Okay. Zach showed top there at 4 minutes 20, in which you didn't press tab at all. Right. So I believe Zach actually finishes top scuttle, but you don't know if he's got, because right now, if you press tab, you would know if he had got in top scuttle, if he got his blue, his grump, because you would have, 4? So you had 12 from here, 16 on the scuttle, 20 for the blue buff, and then 24 would be grump. And then you could kind of know vaguely what he's doing. So then what would happen at this point after, I mean, you don't really have any information about Zach because you haven't pressed tab, you haven't seen him at all. You would know roughly at this point, at around 5 onwards, especially at around 5:30, you know most likely Zach's finished his topside camps and he's going to be going back onto his bot side, to his Raptors, his Krugs, or sometimes straight into River to establish River vision. So you know he's going to be on the bot side of the River right now. Or getting there, or at least getting there. So what happens, you just minimize a little bit here. You base on your 1300 gold, which, I mean, it's not optimal because you don't have any pots and you don't have any pinks, so this is pretty suboptimal. But you should know right now that, you know, you don't know where Zach is in your own mind. So what should you do? If this is slow pushing out, this is where you need to be very, very careful or conscious about Zach's location. So we know Zach's bot side, obviously. And what happens in a second?
Yeah, I ain't.
Bang. Blow flash. Okay. So this is massive, man. Like, blowing flash as Orianna into Echo is like... it feels terrible, right? Like, you can't play the game.
Yeah.
So, you've got a pretty good early reset. And what do you do in this situation? Let's just say you've worked on your jungle tracking and you have a hypothesis that you think that Zach's bot side, which is a pretty fair one, knowing that his red's going to be spawning soon. So this is a good indicator that you know he's going to be bot side. So what I would do is I would actually walk out of vision behind here. I'll draw on the minimap. I would actually walk around here. What I'll do is actually try and truck a... I would either ping assistance mid, because again, the way slow pushing into Echo, if Echo didn't... I mean, obviously, if Echo pushed it in, then I could maybe wait for Ivan a little bit. If I was scared and maybe my jungle wasn't coming or I didn't think he would come or he couldn't come, then I would actually walk out of vision and actually pink, obviously pink if I did have one, I'd probably pink the dot bush or just ward, trinket the river or even just the ramp and just try and get some form of vision so I can lean on. Or even hedge my bets and hard lean topside, which again, 90% of the time, you're going to be completely safe if you lean topside here. Because you know Zach's going to be bot side. Wouldn't make any sense for Zach to be topside. So cool. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And right now, what's the other thing? We know our Ivan just made a play bot, right? So Ivan, instead of making another play, wants to go back to his jungle, clear his camps, and then do something. Like he's just made his play. It's like chess. He's made his move. Now Zach wants to make a move right now. So he makes a play. And now ideally, Ivan wants his laners to do nothing while he's clearing his jungle camps right now. Their bot just got a kill. Really, really good. Your top's farming super well. Your Ivan's just free farming. He's going back to his topside camps. Beautiful. This is like the worst time to get ganked as a jungler. It feels so bad to be Ivan right now. It's like that was so obvious, you know?
Yeah.
And he goes back topside. And then, so still, even though he went topside, most likely he's going to loop back onto his bot side camps to get this red soon. Like maybe he's chucking a pink here, whatever, but he'll be going back onto his bot side camps.
Look at this ward.
I know.
It's my favorite.
That's my next thing.
It's my
What
favorite
is this ward?
bush,
This ward
Oh my
literally
God.
does nothing. And you know my ward video, what I say is, if a ward doesn't change your behavior or any form of behavior, then it's a bad ward. What does this ward do? It doesn't do anything. You're still scared of Zach coming from above you. You're still scared of Zach going back to bot side and ganking you from that side. This offers no help.
Yeah.
It does nothing.
I think overall this game I'm playing really bad. Like for real, everything I do it's just really, really bad. I think.
And this is another thing here. You're tethering. So here,
Yeah, I fail it again.
you need to be clicking very close to your character and just tethering this guy. So, and sometimes what I actually like to do is I would fake going in and then path backwards. But as I'm pathing backwards, throw out my Q backwards. So he gets hit by my QW. You see what I mean there?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So that's like another thing you can do here, because there your movements are so obvious. Like you don't go in and out. But because you got Lost Chapter, look how good your trades are still. Even though you don't tether it, like because you got Lost Chapter, like you can win this matchup at this point. And again, look at that. Holy shit, you live. But look at this. That just shows to me, man, that ward, like this just doesn't do anything. You know what's so funny is that both you and Zappa, the two people that are in this very similar elo, like high diamond, master.
Yeah, we know dwarf. Correct.
Jungle tracking and warding is like so low. And I just really think, like, when I watched this VOD, I was like, if these guys learned how to jungle track and ward properly, what elo will they get? Like, seriously, I'm like super interested. How much will this affect? Because it's such a big influence on the game. I know I say it a lot, but it really is.
And I feel like it's super easy to fix also.
Yeah,
If I
it's
just know
not
how to
hard.
play every levels, I know where to go for wards.
And you're a jungler, right? Or like you.
Yeah, it's actually funny. It's actually fun. Like I should know this stuff. I should know. I know bats well, like jungle bats.
It's so big. It's like it will change your game, and it will make your games when you play Ori so much easier. And you know what's funny, right? Is like, okay, let's just say what will happen. Most people's response in this game, and it's like this. They will look at this, they survive this gank, and then like, oh my god, jungle difference. I've been ganked 2 times. I've blown my flash. Like, what is my Zac doing? They'll ping Ivan. Like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Dude, it's like, it's all you.
Yeah, I'm just making it abusable. Like.
Yeah, you're just playing bad enough that you're getting abused. So generally, most players that say jungle difference or whatever, they're contributing to the problem and they don't even know it. Like they're literally contributed by bad warding, bad jungle tracking, etc., etc. And look how you're making your jungler's life a living hell.
Yeah, I just drag him mid and he's like, oh my god.
Ivan's just trying to farm and do shit. He's got a kill for his bot lane. You're making, this is a game where like, if you see your Ivan get a kill for your bot Senna Taric, you literally just need to get carried. Because if the game gets to one item and you get to a team fight, you never lose. Kayle, Senna, Taric, Ivan. How do you lose? Versus an Echo, you don't lose. So like, this is a game where you don't even need to do anything. By you not doing anything, just farming, you win this game. All you need to do is not die or not blow flash.
My lane is just sleeping, so
it's
my game
so
plan.
easy. And you don't need to do anything special. Anyway, so it's all these little things with jungle tracking that I really think just will make a massive difference. And actually paying more attention to your aggressive trading in the early game would definitely help. So yeah.
I don't know why I did not like trade level 1 and 2 like.
Oh, I mean, I just think that's you just not thinking about how you want to play the matchup. Because you know what happens? You know what's funny, right? Is that next time you go, say you played this game, and let's just say the next game you played Ori versus Echo again. You know what's funny? Is that you barely would learn anything. Like, say this was let's just say this was the first game of the day you played today. And let's just say the next game, the second game, you play the exact same person. I actually don't think, and given that the mindset you were in at this time, I actually don't think you would have played the level 1 and 2 any different. What do you think?
Like after that game or...
Yeah, like, I'm not talking about this VOD review. I'm talking about you playing. Let's just say I hadn't VOD reviewed this at all with you, right?
Yeah.
And let's just say you played this game this morning. And then the second game you played, you came against the same guy in the same matchup, Ori versus Echo again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now I get it. Like, you're actually right. Like, I would not change the thing.
Like,
you wouldn't
change a thing. Like, you would play the exact same.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you didn't come in with any intention. Your intention.
But now when I see it, yeah.
You know?
I mean, now when I see it, and yeah, it's so obvious. I was like, I look at this level 1 and 2, and I'm like, why am I not hitting? Like, hello.
Yeah, and this shows that, like, it's a combination of you not coming into the game with a theory or a hypothesis or anything that you want, the way you want to play your matchup. And this is why playing 3 champions, 4 champions max is so OP, because think about it. If you play Ori, I mean, Echo is actually a pretty good counter to Ori. It's actually really good into it. But even if, like, let's just say, like, you're in a level, you're at Diamond 1. Like, most Diamond 1 low master tier players are trash. Like, this Echo is probably is really bad. Like, even if you actually learnt this matchup, and you'd win it. You would actually win it next time because you actually know how the matchup works. But if you played the next game and then you played, like, Veigar or something, then, like, if you're constantly playing different matchups, you're not going to know how to play them. But if you consistently play the same champions, you probably are going to play Orianna versus Echo again. With it quite often. It's a very common matchup. Yeah. So you're going to know how to play it. So this is why having a theory or hypothesis about how you want to play the matchup is so important. And when you're going through reviews, you can see this stuff. Like, you just got to pay attention and just ask yourself questions. Why was I doing this? Why wasn't I doing this? And you don't even need to look at the whole game. Just look at the first 10 minutes. That's where most people's problems actually lie. The first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah.
And look at this.
It's done already. I could win the game. Or even play like 10 times better already.
You know what's funny?
I've seen enough.
Ivan dies here because Echo has pressure.
Yeah, he added all the games.
So this is a snowball effect. Because you died to ganks, and because because you blue flash, because all this, Echo has move and is able to kill your jungler because he could have escaped. Like, it's all these it's like a snowball effect. It's out of control. It just shows, man. It's the small things, man, lead to big things. This is crazy, man. It still blows my mind to this day how League of Legends works, honestly. It's pretty funny.
How about timestamps?
Oh, the timestamps thing. Yeah, I've actually never seen that at this level. I don't think I've seen a single player at this level not have timestamps. You're a rare breed.
I would say it's next. Like, I will literally after this go to custom.
You got to do it. It's essential.
Yeah.
All right. So getting back into it, you're still fine. Like 1v1, like you're still fine, but your team's kind of getting screwed over. So
yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just feeling like, we are constantly getting behind because I'm doing this. I'm feeling like I can't keep up like this. Like, it's gonna be like slow death. Like, that's what I'm feeling like right now. Like, I have no control at all in this game. Like, zero. Yeah. I just play to go neutral and play to go safe. I mean, just to save myself. But I'm not winning anything on the map.
Well, it's fine if that was your plan, because if your bot lane was already winning and you were just playing to minimize mid and just get wards whenever you can and do what you can, that's fine. Because then you'd play off one item spike, you'd be fine. but I don't feel like
Yeah.
that's your intention either. It's like you're playing safe just because you can. They're
Because
not
I
playing.
got better. Yeah.
So another thing is it just shows you actually, because you've got to Lost Chapter, you can still win trades. Like it's this matchup's not that. It's only bad if you play it too fast and then like Echo can just kind of screw you over. But like you've actually, because you've farmed pretty decently, and I mean these wards are just so troll. I mean, okay, this ward over here, by the way, is not too bad. I actually don't mind it, and I actually don't mind that it's not a pink because you probably wouldn't be able to defend it anyway.
Yeah, that's what I felt. Yeah.
So I don't mind this. Yeah, it's not too bad. But this pink, what you could have actually done is you could have actually probably pinked up there, like above the red, maybe.
Defensive, yeah.
Maybe. If you didn't want to contest.
Maybe,
But I want to look at this trade actually. So you get that wave in, Echo comes back. You get this blue. You get this trade. Ivan's dying. What's going on? Okay.
Just fighting over right, I guess. I mean, Raptors.
Let's see what happens here. I'll turn the sound on. So this is where you should be looking to push your limits. Right now, your Orianna, you've got so much vision. Look at your bot side vision. Like you're in a good spot. Your bot lane's winning. They've got vision bot side. All you need to do right now is you need to walk that tightrope. You need to lean onto your bot side. You need to position your ball aggressively. You need to make it so this guy can't freely play for the wave. That's all you need to do. So right now, I already just don't like your positioning. Like I think it's just too defensive. I think right now. So use his W, dude. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wait, this Echo just used W. Okay, that's massive.
Yeah, like this is free now. This is free now. Just walk.
It's free. Just walk up here, throw out your ball. Even if you miss it, just have it there, right? Just have your ball here, and then it's gonna be so annoying for this Echo to say yes. Abuse your range advantage.
I felt like I tried to minimize so much because I didn't know the matchup or something.
Yeah, like look at this. You throw your ball out, but look how far away you're playing.
Yeah, I'm just playing Giga safe this whole game. Like, I could like all in him right now. I feel like I could perma-trade him. He cannot answer. Every try that I take him right now.
You can actually you know what? Sometimes what I actually like to do in these matchups, if I just want to exert pressure, sometimes I just ultimate him. Sometimes I just chunk him.
Yeah.
So like, how is he getting pushed on the wave? Like he just used Q. Look at that. He just used Q.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so boosted. I can't watch myself.
You punished him for that, but it's not too bad. But it's just a little bit too defensive.
Yeah, but
again, he's getting punished for it.
Yeah, it's too little.
Like, okay, then Echo
Back to the holding. Back to the holding, by the way.
And look at this. And Echo's, Echo, dude. Alright. Yeah, this is troll. Okay, so I need to roast you here, so this is a painful experience for you. And I know you can take it.
I mean, please roast. I remember it easier.
So, you know how like freezing and stuff, like pulling the wave at this point of the game is like unacceptable. Like you doing this, dude. It's like, what is this achieving? So you have 3 minions here. This is not even a freeze. Not even. You have 2. You have like, this is not even a freeze. So all this is going to do, temporarily, it's going to, the wave's going to come. It's going to meet here. And then it's going to, create a slow push. And then eventually your minions are actually going to slow push out slowly. So it's going to allow you to build a slow push, right? But do it safely. But what can Echo do here? Echo can roam bot. He can get river control. He can just reset. He can literally just reset and catch all the farm as it comes back. There is so many things Echo can do right now. Your Orianna letting an assassin just roam.
Yeah,
when this whole time really you have blue buff, you have complete vision control. Your bot lane's winning 2v2. You'll lose again. your job is to walk that tightrope, and you're just way too defensively at the moment. Like you're a massive detriment to your team right now.
Yeah, I feel so.
So holding the wave here, like what I would be doing as well, I would actually be getting this instantly and just walking up super aggressively. I want Echo to fail his E on me, even take a trade onto me. I want Echo. Yeah. If that would keep Echo interested in the lane, extend the laning phase so he doesn't roam or doesn't reset. Because I'm full HP, full mana. You're sitting on 2 refillables as well. Like, I would do anything I can to stop this guy from doing, like, keep this lane isolated or keep this lane extended. And, so this is just full giving pressure, like, and he only has one corrupted bot.
Yeah.
So this is giving everything. And then what happens when you hold it? Echo just roams bot here. Let's see what happens. He roams bot. A fight breaks out. Echo comes. And then gets a kill. Look at that. And then Echo that Echo's snowballing now. Look at that, man.
It's not good at all. And
then you get a plate like whoop-de-doo, like it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, this is useless.
I mean, it's cool. It's good for you. But your bot lane that was ahead is now, it's just, the game's getting played too fast for your comp.
Yeah. Because we have Kayle and Taric, yeah.
You guys, and you destroy Kog'Maw, man. Ori obliterates.
Yeah, it's true. I just melt him. He can't position in fights.
Like, Ori's the biggest counter to Kog. He actually can't play team fights. Anyway, you reset. Please buy a pink. Yes, nice. Come back. Echo's got tempo on you, so you should be pinging missing. Oh no, what's he doing? Yeah. He's roaming top side. Okay. And
this is scary. This is really scary.
What's interesting is that not only did Echo roam, but he based now, so he also has tempo on you as well, because you stayed for a long time. So you have to note that he also has tempo on you. So he's able to come back, get a tempo base on you, roam. What happens here? Okay, not too bad.
I thought he stopped already, but he wasn't. Like, he's just like juggling, just like me.
It's not too bad. Ooh.
Like, I only go top if he goes.
Yeah, this is fine. This is good. I like it. Good chunk.
Here I think like, okay, he's done with going top, but then I see him top again, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
This is not too bad.
Like, he still goes for top, and I'm like, what the heck?
Oh.
This ult is really bad. I could go for 3-man ult.
Yeah, you just walk up.
Yeah, I just walk up. Like, I could like the QW. It's still like almost same damage. Like,
it's not too bad though. Like I like how you're matching Echo's roams here. This is much better than just like pushing mid. Okay, so you really need blue, because once you get blue, then you can start to hard pressure.
By the way.
Wait, you could TP to that play. Why do
you
TP?
I felt like I could TP to get. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I don't know.
I think you win that. Wait, I don't know if Echo has TP or not, but I think that even if he does, he doesn't have ult.
Yeah. And now we're in his faster bot side, we could TP into Drake. I mean, bot kill and Drake.
Yes. You could TP at try. You could TP try way before that.
Yeah, true.
And but that's not a big deal, but it's just another little thing you can do when you have TP. Anyway.
Instead, I go for like 3 casters.
Yeah.
Mid lane.
Well, if Echo was already on mid lane, beating on your tower, then probably not the best
play.
Then
it's... Yeah.
But given that he...
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just like waves fighting, so...
Okay, whatever. So now you can... Even though, okay, he has Proto Belt and he's quite snowballed, so it is a bit hard now, because he can kind of close that gap, but... Again, I would still do what I can to not give him enough room. Like... Let's see what happens here. Because now it's really hard to tether. Like, you can't... it's hard to tether his E. Because he can just proto onto you. Like that.
Yeah, I know he will E, so I just work it. I'm trying to sidestep Q, but yeah, he aims it well.
You should actually ult him, by the way. You should trade ults. I think trading ults
actually, yeah. Then he can go long trade. And then he might even ult, so yeah.
Like, if you ult... Like, I would ult, like, now.
Yeah, true.
And just force him, like, trade damage, and then it makes it at least harder for him to roam. If he doesn't have ult, it makes him more vulnerable. I mean, that's what I would do anyway, but Yeah, now I mean
Yeah,
this
it's
is
really
like,
good trade.
yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, he just beat me to base, and I'm like, okay, I'm staying like hello. This is like.
I mean, and this is the result of all what's happened from before.
Yeah, true. Like.
So like, yeah, like at this point it's really hard, like to
Yeah.
prevent much from happening.
Yeah.
Because now Echo is
Like I really don't want. Yeah, I don't want to join here, but I don't know. I'm so hopeless right now because I failed early. Like look at this.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. I'm just trying to think how you could have played this better though. Like maybe what you do is you just throw Q out here, and then if he walks up and E, just slow him. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think how you could tether this guy better without giving too much pressure. That was good. And now back up. No, because you don't have W. I think that was the main problem here. Because
I was trying to bait the. But yeah, he brought up everything. Yeah, that's why I fucked up.
I'm just trying to think that like, how do you play this? Because I'm just trying to think because I haven't played this matchup in a while as Ori. I'm just trying to think because I've been usually on the Echo side, but I'm thinking if you just use this combo like that, so you do these nice little QW combos and you tether like this, I think that's the way to go. Whenever your QW is up, you simultaneously walk backwards, throw Q behind you with W, and then continue to do that. Play for the wave. Don't give him much chance.
Rinse and repeat. Yeah.
Because I mean, and to figure this out, I'm just looking at this was a really bad trade. And I'm thinking, how can I minimize it? What could I have done? You could have maybe used ultimate to self peel better. You maybe could have tethered a bit better, like we said before. Because I just think that now this trade makes Echo just get so much room. Because now you could have actually TP'd to this play if you weren't low. Like right now,
yeah.
You potentially could have. And this is okay. Another thing about this play in general reminds me of Zappa a bit is that when this play happens, you need to make a decision. Actually, what do we see? Set top, dude. What the fuck? The support's top. Kog'Maw's alone. You could have easily turned this fight. But one thing to note here is that again, this is like the compensating thing. It's like you've panned your camera, you start I mean, you're not looking at the situation. How do you know what's going on right now?
Yeah.
Because like,
yeah,
as a mid laner, I'm always trying to find a way to get back into the game, which is, okay, I'm either going to completely leave this play and get something else where mid plates, farm, division, whatever, or tempo, or I'm going to come to the play in which I can potentially turn it around. And I feel like here, because you're not really looking at the play, it's hard for you to make this call. So sometimes, like, there's no reason for you not to just look at the play on your way down and then make the call. Because I think you get here, but you're just you don't know what you're doing now. It's like,
I get here for nothing. Yeah.
You know, that's kind of a little thing. That's another little thing, but that's what happens here.
Yes, I think settings a bit.
Dude, Senna ult's so good. Such a good ability.
Yeah, it's insane. The shield range, like how wide it is. Yeah, it's insane. I just bought because I know he must stay on me. So. I wanted to assist. I could Ivern. But...
Nice. Okay.
I mean,
the longer this game goes, the better. It's just like you're farming quite well, and you got your Ludens now. What do you get? Wait.
I mean, yeah. Look, look. I clicked the item. I swear to God, I click it.
Okay.
If you put sound on, you can hear the sound of the the buying.
I actually think this could be a GLP game, by the way, as well.
I mean, with my playstyle, it's obvious. Just playing neutral and Dina, yeah. Like, oh my god.
But GLP instead of Ludens could be a better idea though, because it could allow you to kite Echo.
Yeah, true.
I think GLP is just better.
But yeah, I just missed Ludens and fight is coming. This is really good.
We get the Rift. I like how you're just grouping here. We just group Sage. What's going on here?
I like to fight with Ori.
This is nice.
It's so much fun. We hard win this. Tariq ult right now and he Zax engage like. This was scary, like. Could go either way, maybe. But they can follow up, I think. into that choke like against Senna. And we just hard kite them with Ivern Senna. Like,
Do you win this game?
no. I just wanted this game because I think I played lane really bad and I think I made some bad calls. So I wanted a good game to review, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think so far. I mean, it
Like he
seems
does
like
a lot of mistakes. So yeah.
it seems like it's pretty obvious so far what your early game problems are. But I think
Yeah,
I mean, from this point on, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just basically want to catch sideways. You get camps like this on the way through, which is really, really nice. I think this is a concept that I actually want to quickly talk about for people watching the chat. So notice how Ran here is doing blue, and then he doesn't just skip these camps. It'd actually be good for him to do Wolves and Gromp, in my opinion. He can actually do both. Or actually, even just one of them is fine. The reason this is really good is because what do we know? We know that his team's coming out of the base. His team's not pressuring yet. If his team was just looking to, like, maybe was still pressuring or doing things, moving into river, etc., then maybe this is a little greedy. But what do we know? We know that his team's resetting as well, so he has plenty of time to be able to do this camp as well. And if you can ever sneak a camp in between while going to a side lane, it can really help you get extremely accelerated. Okay, now he echoes in the side. What happens here? Okay, so I actually think right now you just go mid. Why are you recalling? Nothing for you to buy. What are you buying?
I think I might stop it though.
Okay, so what do we know right now? I mean, I don't know what objective we're playing for because you're not really pressing tab to play for the next objective, but I'm assuming you guys want to play mid to bot. I think what you need to do right now is because you can't match Echo
Yeah.
at all. I actually think you have two options. These guys as a whole are so strong that they don't need you to group. Even if Echo walks up, they're still fine. Or you group now that Echo's here. You come temporarily with the team, help them get control around the river, and then walk down and catch this wave. If you don't do that, look what happens. This is a result of it. So you stay, you don't group with the team, and then Echo walks up into river, and they have full river control because, I mean, obviously they have man advantage, and then a fight breaks out, and you're not able to get there. Obviously, you know, Ivan missed positions, but I still think this is not optimal for you because now you're not playing the front to back fight. When I'm playing Ori, I never want this sort of fight to happen. I always want to be there from the start of the fight.
Yeah.
So I really do think one or two things happens. You ping this guy back because you know Echo's going to be moving up here. Like, just fucking get out of here, guys. Like, tell these guys to get out while they wait for you to catch this next wave, then group. Or you group before this while Echo's already reacting to this wave that you caught. This way, it's going to be a lot safer because ideally in competitive, you wouldn't have to do this because your team would respect. They know that they won't get caught. I mean, because Echo has a bit of move here. But because it's in solo queue, I just never trust my team. And when I'm playing Orianna, and you're pretty strong at this point. You got 160 CS, like
Stronger.
Yeah, you're level 2 ultimate. You've got your Ludens. You're popping. Like,
yeah.
You're a front to back team fighting comp. Like, it's fine. You just don't want a fight to be broken out without you. And what do we know? We know that they have Zac, really good engage. Set, I mean, decent engage, kind of. And then they got Echo. So they got two champions specifically that have pretty decent engage. I would not trust my team unless you're really communicating with pings really well, to just not, like, respect here. And you don't really communicate with pings that Echo's going to be coming at all, and then he just kind of gets caught out. I mean, this is just bad. This jungle's just bad. This play's all bad, but, like...
Yeah, I mean, but I fucked up my whole lane, so I can't really play anymore.
Yeah. So, exactly.
Like,
you contributed to this situation.
Yeah.
So, I think this is just another nice little mid-game thing. And I think this can be... If you were so far... If your team was ahead at this point, it wouldn't really matter. Because they would get control as a 3 and walk down for you. But because they're not really ahead, you need to just group. You're only stronger as a 5. You're not stronger as 2v2s and 1v1s, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like, our whole comp is like utility, like shielding and buffing. And...
Like, yeah, you lose a bit of farm here. You will lose farm, but I just think it's like the safety factor I value in solo queue because I just don't trust my team.
Yeah.
At all. And then she just group. Yeah.
I think I should ult here, like, better.
Let's see.
I don't know.
No,
I've
you can't
lost the
ult here.
range.
Senna's dead.
I mean, a bit before, like Senna, but I lose the E range. Like it could be a good ult.
You had right. You had the E on him, but Set took him
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, but if I walk up, if I predict that it could be maybe 3-man ult. But I don't know
true.
what it changes though. Like, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? This is like all chaos.
Okay.
All I'm trying to do is get good ult.
Wow. Dude, your
It's
comp's
a lot
OP.
of stuff going on. Yeah, it's OP. Like we just hard shield, kite, hard shield. Like,
Baron.
yeah. I'm hard pinging soon, but look at it. Like
But can you
I think I
Baron? Yeah,
failed this
you
game.
can Baron.
Yeah, I'm hard pinging us. Like team, let's go. But I think I ain't. Honestly, I think our DPS is too weak. With Senna, Taric, Kayle. Like, or an Iron jungle. If we had like damage jungle, I think we get it easy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is just
No,
like
the
nightmare.
main problem here is that Ivan's tanking.
Yeah.
What? Like Ivan should be sharing tank.
Who you think should tank like
we
right
just
now?
share you, KO, all of you. But now you and the two squishy
Yeah, look
people.
at this. Look at this.
Disaster.
It's all over. It's all over.
Actually, I don't mind. You know what? Like, I don't mind losing games like this because you made the play. Like, you made the call. Like,
I was like, fuck it, let's use this old tempo we got. Like, I was like, fuck it, we're behind, we can make it. Like.
To be honest, the reason I thought this was doable is because you had Kayle. What is Kale's build so far?
I thought we get it, but I was wrong. I think.
I guess
I thought we get it. Like.
I think what I underestimated, what we both underestimated, because I would have made the same call. I think we underestimated how squishy you were. And Kale's
I
boom.
think that was like more. Yeah, that was bigger problem than the DPS. Like, look at. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Actually.
Squishy.
Like the problem is we
boom.
like. Yeah, the Baron like 1v5 us, and then they just get everything for free. Like the 5 kills and Baron.
So what? Last thing actually before because I think we've covered the main points, but because I think your team fighting and awareness and everything is quite good on Orianna. I think this is the reason you're higher diamond in the first place, because you know how to team fight, you know how to skirmish, like you know this stuff quite well. Your team fighting skirmish is good, your game understanding is quite good. It's just about tying all those little things together. But one thing I was actually thinking of doing in this moment,
Yeah.
and I don't know, was trading this off. Like I don't know how often you do this. I do this sometimes. I want to try and pause it when you press tab. What do we see? Oh, okay. All right. In my opinion, I mean, obviously third dragon's pretty big because, I mean, it gives them one more to soul. This is just a concept that I want you to have a think about. Is that, what do we know? Senna's dead. Kayle hasn't really got 2 items yet. I mean, she's still spiked, but she's not hardcore spiked. You're still strong, but not hardcore strong. What's the main thing? It's a 4v5. So, wouldn't your team really value trading this off for top side camps, pushing this D2, pushing mid, and just farm and wait for Senna to come up and then play for the 5v5? Like, I mean, yes, it worked out well. But it's just as a concept I want you to have a think about is sometimes what you can actually do, instead of contesting every dragon, sometimes it's okay to give it off. But no one, I've noticed, I don't know about your games, but no one calls off dragon.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the dragon's up, even if you're behind, people want to fight it.
Yeah, people are walking already.
They just fight.
Yeah.
It's like, even though they're behind, it's like, dude, if we give this, it's like, a lot of the time, it's just like a Cloud Drake. It's like, dude, just give the Cloud Drake. We can trade it. Let's trade for farm. It's not the end of the world.
Honestly, I would call this off if I like thought the way you thought. Like, actually, would be really, really good to like shop mid top and get like between camps. Like.
Yeah, like I don't know how you guys won this fight though. What happened?
I mean, we are just lucky. I think my ult won it, but like maybe.
Yeah, your ult
like,
was really nice.
But because it just chunked them so much, and the shielding won it too.
Dude,
look at these shields.
Dude, look at Taric. Ready? Look how much damage he soaks from Cogmore.
Yeah,
Look at all the Cogmore auto attacks.
Yeah, like look how much more time he buys.
Look at this. He still takes damage from Cog.
He's a machine. Oh my god. I like this fight. I enjoy watching this.
So Yeah, I mean, I think this vibe's good. All I'm saying is that as a concept, what you to like consider is like, don't be afraid to call off fights dragons, trading it for farm, especially if it's second dragon, and especially if it's like a cloud drake. It's not the end of the world if you give a cloud drake, so it's like whatever. Yeah. So again, I think to recap this video, my biggest criticism is just
laning.
I mean, like, one, actually coming in with, have an idea about what you want to do, man. Like, you need to have an idea about what you want to do, because that's how you're going to improve at these matchups. That's how you're going to know what to do. Because then, let's just say, Ron, you do this aggressive level 1 and 2 thing, but maybe it actually doesn't work out. Maybe you actually find that, if I push level 1 and 2, maybe if I slow push, he actually gets to catch all the wave, and then he gets whatever happens, and then maybe against these junglers, I just feel super uncomfortable, and I actually prefer to keep it in the middle. That's completely fine. But if you don't even have the idea, it's going to be so hard for you to know what to do, and you're just going to, the same things are going to happen, right? So that, in as well, I want you to take into account 2 things with your laning phase, and will help you in your reviews. Look for your mana and HP usage. If you're ever on full mana and full HP, then something's not right, in my opinion. At least you should be trading.
I agree.
Something should be going on. Whether they're playing bad, you're playing bad, something isn't being played optimally, because you watch any high-level game, they're not just sitting on full HP, full mana, ever. They're always doing something. But the most important takeaway is your jungle tracking and warding is needs so much work, man. True. And it's not hard to change. It just requires you just literally putting attention towards it. It's like, okay, watch my jungle tracking video, my warding video, etc. It's pretty easy stuff. Experiment with your theories. Okay, I'm going to ward here at 2 minutes 30, 2 minutes 20. I'm going to duck out of vision here, do this. And then I'll look at the review in my VOD, be like, where did I think the jungle was? Was I counting his CS? Could I have helped? Could I have warded this better? Did I know where he was? Was I playing scared? And a really good thing is, if you are ever scared in lane, ask yourself, why was I scared? Was there any way I could have known where he was? Could I have done something, a ward level 1? Could I have checked who leashed so I knew where he was? Could I have seen, based off my jungle knowledge, he's most likely going to do these 3 camps, etc., etc. You can slowly start to improve on that as well. And just overall trading, man, with your mana flow is just really, you need to put a lot more attention to that.
It was horrible. Yeah.
So I would say they're probably the main things. So do you have any questions about this session?
I mean, it was really good session. Right now I don't have any questions, but yeah, I agree. I think my matchup knowledge is not that good, and my trading is not that good. I'm jungle tracking too.
Yeah, what I recommend honestly is take your time. There's a lot of stuff in this. This VOD's actually going to be on the YouTube, so you can rewatch it, and then maybe you can message me in a few days after rewatching it and being like, I had a question about this, or what did you think about this, or etc. etc. So don't feel rushed. You can definitely wait until you watch it over again, and because obviously really late where you are as well, it's probably a lot to take in.
It's a pretty late.
Yeah,
but it's okay. This was really nice, actually.
Cool. Sweet. Really appreciate it. That was awesome that you and Zappa won, because you guys are pretty.
Actually, so insane.
So lucky.
This community is really making my life good.
Awesome, dude.
I like this community a lot.
Yeah, we've definitely.
And your content is insane. Yeah, it's awesome.
All right.
Yeah, and you're 20k soon, man. Congrats.
Yeah, I'm gonna do an announcement at 20k subs, which should be cool.
Yeah.
I'll stay tuned for that one. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna just do a quick Q&A with people in the chat if they have any questions, and then So thanks, Ron, and keep me updated on your climb. All right.
Yeah, sure. I will definitely apply this. I will focus now on jungle tracking and warding, and
Nice.
matchups.
Brilliant. All right. I'll catch you later, man. Have a good night.
Yep. Thanks, man. Have a good day.
Catch it. Thank you. All right, everyone in chat. Hope you guys following that, I'm gonna just I'll go through a few questions in the chat now. I was focusing on that coaching session. What's this? Coach, I'm a Z main. That's currently D4. I got here with 35 wins, 70% win rate, but now I have 89 wins and I'm stuck here with a 54% win rate. General tips for Z. My biggest advice, I mean, a few things you can do with Z. The most annoying thing, things that you can do with Z is similar to Talon. It's like once you get level 6, you can actually start to look for picks on the enemy jungler on their second buff spawn. When they start coming back onto their map, onto their rubber banded camps, I think that there's a lot of jungle threat. But then I think biggest things on Zed is actually calling, like, actually, if you're that Zed player, I recommend watching my early, my Pantheon mid video that I did, where I talk about actually utilizing early pressure. Where it's all about calling for early objectives, doing things, and I actually talk extensively about it. It can really, really help you out, because Zed is very much that sort of champion where you really need to push the pace of the game, call for those early Rift Heralds, etc. And then also play for those 2v2 mids, so using your pink wards aggressively, moving up your vision aggressively into the enemy jungle and looking for those 2v2s. What else we got here? Team fighting is Zoe. You got to get to the objective first. Get to the area first. Control choke points. If you get to the fight late, you're going to have a really, really hard time. That's probably my biggest advice for team fighting with Zoe. So get to the fight first. Get there early. Set up your pinks. Control choke points with bubbles and Qs. Love your content. What is the best assassin to play to get good with assassins? I would say, if you're more of a mage player traditionally, and you want to get into assassins, I would say Diana and Echo. Diana, Echo, and Pantheon. I would say those three are probably the easiest to kind of get into that play style. What is your opinion on climbing with Galio through Diamond? Yeah, dude, I genuinely think Galio's nuts right now, man. I'm spamming it. If I link you my OPGG, I'm playing it a lot recently. I'll put it in the chat. I'm playing it a lot recently. I think it's super strong with Nimbus Cloak. I've been playing with Nimbus Cloak and it feels super nice. I think Galio is just a solid pick right now overall. Coach, what do you think about Cassiopeia? Yes, she is a very good champion. Yeah, super solid in the meta at the moment. Again, you got to be very patient in the early game. Take your time. Don't rush things too much. Make sure you're playing off your tier and lost chapter. Once you get tier lost chapter, then you can really start to take over games. What do my current take on Galio do? I think he's strong as people say he is. Yes, I think he is. I'm spamming him at the moment. I think he's very strong. Especially in higher elo, because junglers just utilize your kill threat so much. You win every 2v2. Think about Galio. It's like you basically never lose a 2v2 fight. You have insane CC. You have insane lockdown. You force enemy to take cleanse, which is already a massive advantage. You have insane gank setup. Your ultimate is so annoying for the enemy diving sides. It's just a really annoying champion. I think it's a bit busted at the moment. What is my opinion on Lux? I think Lux is a really good bread and butter mid laner. I think it struggles in higher elo because it gives a lot of pressure. But, you can definitely play it all the way to Diamond quite easily. Diamond 4. As long as you are really good at tethering, focusing on hitting your skill shots. And once it gets to mid game, playing from out of vision, being creative with your pink wards, and looking for picks with your full combo. How do I stay on top of farm with Zoe in the mid to late game? I mean, it's really hard in solo queue because people don't respect. Honestly, that's not I don't think that should be your main point of focus. I think if you're worrying about your farm in mid to late game as Zoe, it means you haven't snowballed enough in your early game. So that's what I would look at. So you shouldn't even be looking to focus on that. What else we got here? What else we got? What do I think about Yasuo? I don't play Yasuo, man, so it's really hard for me to comment, so I'll have to kind of pass on that one. But he's basically, I would say, in my limited experience playing against him, Yasuo wants isolated 1v1s in a way. Like, Yasuo is so good in 1v1s. Like, he's like the best 1v1 champion in the game. But he can be really good in certain 2v2s with champions like Gragas, etc. But majority of the time, he wants to keep the lane isolated 1v1. Pyke mid. I haven't seen much Pyke mid. I know people talk about it. I mean, it can work. I don't think it's a reliable way to climb, though. I think it's more of a high elo pick, in my opinion. What does front to back mean? Front to back just means we have the front line in the front and then the damage or the major damage sources in the back line. So a standard like formation where you got the front line, the back line. So basically like a scrum in like rugby. Like you got like the front line and then the people behind it. Standard team fighting. How to play mid-game as Zoe. Mid-game as Zoe is all about, you want to ideally not be in the side lane, so just catching waves in the side, grouping with the team for control around river. So I actually talk about this for a second. Let me grab up my little paint thing. What do we got here? Generally as Zoe, let's quickly draw this out. So let's just say this is like top lane. This is like mid lane here. And let's say this is the river, okay? Let's just say you're on red side, this way, and you're Zoe. And let's just say the game's even. Generally, you don't want to be sitting in the side lane for an extended period of time. So as the wave crashes in the middle here, generally what I would do is catch one wave here. Then I would walk back this way, group with my team, with my AD, my support, and my jungler. I would then help them bully off the enemy mid lane. So get the first push off this mid lane wave. Then I would ping assistance in top river. Get them to pink the dot brush, potentially even lean over, get a ward into the blue, whatever. Then go back mid. This will allow me to catch maybe 1 or 2 waves, knowing that I have vision control, a bit of protection in the river. And then once I get 1 or 2 waves, then rinse, repeat, go back mid. This way, you are going to stay a lot more up in farm and not get really far behind. All right, what else we got here? How do I deal with an 80 carry late game as a scaling champion? If they have something like a Lulu, even if I play something like Kassadin, I feel like there's not much I can do. If you're playing a champion like Kassadin into a fed 80 carry, generally what you want to be doing is abusing your strength. What's your main strength? Is that you can actually side lane and that the enemy mid laner can't deal with you. So ideally create a man advantage. So either force the enemy mid laner to come to you, force the enemy jungle to help come to the side to deal with you, which would then allow you to move into river, create a bit of a man advantage and look for a pick. You can also get your teammates to set up flank wards, and while the enemy mid laner is catching a wave, set up a TP flank, pick them in rotation, etc. Just don't give them the straight front to back team fight where you'll probably get shredded. What sorts of junglers do you think synergize well with Azir mid? I think junglers there's so many different ways to play Azir mid, but traditionally in competitive, he needs frontline. I think he needs frontline, but in saying that, champions that give him river control are super nice because Azir wants an isolated 1v1, right? Azir is one of the strongest 1v1 champions. So any jungler that can establish river control is super nice. So champions like Olaf can be really good in that sense. Champions that just have a lot of early threat, like a Lee Sin, all of them can be really, really good because they can allow you to get river control, which allows you to get vision, which allows you to isolate mid 1v1, which allows you to use your Q aggressively instead of having to hold on to it so you're scared and in that sense. So I actually like having any jungler that gives me river control. How do I know exactly what to do levels 1 to 3? If I'm meant to push, last hit, slow push. I feel like I just use the same opening So again, there's no quick fix for that problem. So Harrison, the way I tackle that is I come in like I did with Ron and these two sessions today with these two guys, I came in and what I'll say is have a hypothesis. Have a go. Hard push one game because you think that's the way to go, or get pushed in one game, or keep it in the middle. Have some form of a hypothesis and give it a go. You might be wrong. It might not work. Then look at it. Go and review and be like, okay, did this feel good or bad? Was I full HP? Was I full mana? Did it feel super easy? Was I able to track the jungler? What was the enemy getting pushed in getting river control? Was I getting river control? Was I able to use my wards aggressively? Was I able to roam? Was this good? Did it feel good for my champion? Allow me to get good resets? Literally do something, try it, and see if it works. You can't learn and know what to do because there's just too many iterations. You need to literally, that's why I say pick 3 champions and start to test in all these matchups. What works, what doesn't. And so that's the only reason I'm able to know what to do, because I've played the game for so long and I've tested so many different things and obviously coached the game for so long, I know, but you can start that process by just trying yourself with your 3 champions. Test around. And you'll find that trends and categories start to appear. So when I played Azir, for example, I realized, okay, generally the way I played each lane was broken down into 4 categories. Versus these champions with high cooldowns, I would do this. Versus these champions with low range, I would do this. Versus these champions who are melee, I would do this. And versus these champions with these junglers, I would do this, etc. And then I just, over amount of games, because I hypothesize every single time, I slowly figure it out. What else we got here? Will I continue my unranked and challenger series? Yes, I just got so many content ideas. I'm just trying to figure out what to do next. How to play against marksman, champ versus assassin. You just got to minimize in the early game. You got to CS with your abilities. You got to... Because generally, marksmen are very strong pre-first base. But post-first base, once you get a bit of lethality or maybe, any bit of... stats and level 6 with your ultimate, then you can really start to pump them. So minimize levels 1 to 6 is the best way to do it. Is having a full control mage champion pool like Ori, Azir, Talia a bad thing? It's completely fine. I think it's completely fine because that may be the identity of you as a player. Although my suggestion is eventually, maybe you might get to a certain point. You might feel like you get a little bit capped. You will learn a lot more about the game and become better at those champions if you start to diversify your style. Like, so what I did, I was a massive mage player. In NA, when I got Challenger, like high elo for the first time, I was a mage player. I played Ziggs, Orianna, Xerath. I loved it. Man, I love mages. Then when I started to slowly learn champions like Zed and things like that, I actually became better at the mages because I knew what to do against the assassins. When's a good time to freeze the lane? It's only really good to freeze the lane if you are going to be able to create a gank threat on the opponent, or the enemy can't roam, so there's nothing for them to roam to. Maybe they're not a roaming champion, etc. Have I played Phase Rush Dyna before? No, I have not. I can't imagine it being good, honestly, but I could try it out because I don't feel like Dyna needs the mobility. I just don't. I feel like she would benefit from the damage. I just answered that question before Death Wish. I said Echo and Echo, Pantheon, and Diana. What else we got here? I've already answered that question about how to play marksman against marksman versus assassins. What's my opinion on Jace mid? I think Jace mid can be really good with AP junglers into immobile mages, like Orianna and stuff, where you can just hard trade. Actually, Jace is also really good into some assassins, actually. Jace is actually just generally good with he's really good in mid lane versus a lot of matchups. Low range, high range, anything, if he has an AP jungler who is early aggression. But actually, Jace gets countered by champions that, like Syndra. I know Syndra is very good into Jace. So, actually, thinking about it again, I think Jace is traditionally better against lower range mages. I know Jace is pretty good into Orianna. I know Jace is pretty good into things like Zed and stuff like that. But, yeah, basically, Jace mid's always good if you have an AP jungle. Do I think Xerath is a viable pick for low elo? Yes. What should I look for in 2v2 skirmishes at Syndra? You should look for skirmishes where you're able to abuse your range advantage and play off your burst. Play off your burst combo. Generally, Syndra likes quick 100 to 0 fights where you've caught someone off guard with your stun, you go for the ultimate, you go for that really quick trade. You generally don't want to be getting flanked. You don't want to be putting yourself in a position where you're having to use your ult defensively. You don't really want to be putting yourself in any position where they're not in front of you and they're coming from different angles. If the people in the 2v2 are all in the same area in front of you, that is when Syndra is the most effective because her ball can scatter everywhere after you use your ultimate. And it's just a lot easier to land your abilities. Right now, I'm on 4 champs. 2 assassin, 2 long range. I find it difficult to transition between the styles. So if you're finding it difficult to transition between assassins and long range mages, what I would recommend, maybe that means you're not comfortable enough on either of them yet. So all in on one of them for now, and then slowly transition in the future once you've kind of got a better idea. You're more comfortable as a mid laner yourself. Like it can be a bit hard to sometimes play Sylas one game and then Orianna, or like play Echo one game and then like Xerath. So like what I'd recommend is all in on one of them for now, and then as you become a better mid laner, slowly transition and diversify. As Lux, do you want to poke and trade aggressively, or do you want to slow down the pace of the game? No, you do want to. As Lux, it's like it's again similar to Orianna. It's like you got to walk that tightrope. You want to be abusing your range advantage. You want to be slow poking with your E. You can't afford to just give all pressure. You do have to poke, otherwise the enemy's just going to roam. They're going to do things that make the game out of your control. I spoke about freezing before, and I hate freezing in solo queue in general. I never freeze in mid game. I think freezing in solo queue is a quick way to lose the game. Very bad. It can be okay in competitive, but in solo queue, never do it. I've been trying to play Azir recently, follow your guide, but I feel like I can't generate my own leads in lane, Owen. Well, if you can't generate your own leads in lane, it probably means you're not abusing You're either not getting push on the minion wave, which is making it hard for you to Q poke. Because if you have the minion advantage and you can just freely Q poke, you're just going to get really, really good trades. So maybe you need to auto attack the wave more. What champions would you suggest for a silver 4? Echo, Diana, Lux. Those types of champs. Very simple kits. What do you think about Yasuo? I've already said that. What else we got? Is Ahri viable in Plat plus Elo? Yes, but I just think she's kind of dog shit at the moment. Really do. Don't think she has enough. She's not independent. Like, she doesn't have enough good matchups. She's too low range, and I just feel like she's really rough. Really rough. Saw my Irelia video. Awesome. Keep it up, man. How would I deal with Galio as Fizz? That's just not a good matchup. I don't know, man. I think that I would probably try and play for tempo resets where I would like heavy trade, try and blow Galio's mana, and while trading myself for the wave, insta reset, try and get a bit of tempo, come back, look for a roam. Or just continue to farm, get to the point where me and Galio are both really fed, and then I just try and position better around team fights where I can get creative flanks onto the squishy backline. Why is it good to go E first on Irelia level 1? You go E first level 1 a lot of the time, unless you can test level 1. So E first level 1 is if you're versing a lot of ranged champions where they can just hard abuse you. We just want to kind of farm safely to level 2, level 3. But if you're versing a melee champion, I'd recommend just going Q, because you can kind of contest level 1 pretty hard. Any chance you can go over good ward spots? I have an entire video on warding. I have 2, the jungle tracking and the warding video on my channel. What's the best way to deal with hard counters to Cassio like Kassadin and Yasuo? Play off your first Idle Spike. Once you get Lost Chapter in both these matchups, so what you can actually do as Cassio is you can actually get Lost Chapter and a Null Magic Mantle. Just sit on a Null Magic Mantle. And you can actually you can actually win trades, extended trades with your QE and catch them off guard with your R and use your R aggressively in lane. Don't use your R, don't hold onto your R. Just use it to take a really good trade. If Cassidy is just freely farming the wave, R him, Q, W, E, chunk him out, and just constantly, if you play it slow and get Q and just constantly get Q poked, you're going to get screwed. So you got to play it fast, constantly push, reset, poke, play it fast, reset, to not giving Kassadin the chance to slow poke you down and all in you. And Yasuo, again, it's the same thing. Actually played versus Yasuo on stream the other day. You can actually look at the VOD, this exact matchup, Kassadin versus Yasuo. And the way I recommend doing that is playing very, very slow. Once you get to Lost Chapter, you just pump him, man. You just do. So most people, biggest mistake I see in that matchup is they take really bad trades early and don't get to Lost Chapter without the game booming. Why not freeze in solo queue? I do it in plat and I have double CS usually. Well, maybe that's the reason you're not master. And maybe that's why you're platinum. It just doesn't, because the reason why freezing is not good in solo queue is because I'm talking about mid game. Like, you can do it in the early game if you're setting up ganks, obviously. And in bot lane, it's a little different. I'm talking predominantly as a mid laner. As a mid laner, you're generally the key source of pressure for the map. So if you're ever freezing, they're just going to create man advantage fights. They're just going to do things without you, and then you're just screwed. It's like, they'll just ignore you. Like, if anyone freezes against me in mid game and I'm playing solo queue, I'm like, all right, cool, you can do that. I'm just going to gank your bot lane. I'm going to dive your bot lane. I'm going to kill your jungler. I'm going to do something. How do you win a Syndra against Vlad? Vlad is very easy. Again, you play the lane in a very, like, so whenever Vlad uses Q on the wave, it's super easy. Then you can just take free trades, play around Vlad's Q cooldown. Once you get to Lost Chapter, Vlad can't operate anymore. It's really, really simple. So, again, the biggest mistake I see in that matchup is that, and also the biggest mistake I see in general versus Vlad is that no one plays and abuses the biggest weakness of Vlad. The biggest weakness of Vlad is wave clear. He can't wave clear. So if you're a mid laner versus Vlad, just build a wave, slow push, get a free reset on a cannon wave. And you come back, man, and then you reset your corrupting pot, get a Dark Seal, get a Doran's, rinse, repeat. Vlad he's got no threat early game, no wave clear, no way to reset. If he takes TP, then he has no kill threat on you. You get to Lost Chapter for free. You just pump him. You outrange. Nothing they can do. So the biggest mistake I see when people versus Vlad is that they just have this really long, drawn-out, extended laning phase where they just the whole time because Vlad obviously out-sustains. And then they're like, oh, how do I beat Vlad? No, it's because you could have reset 3 times by now. Victor is a very viable pick. Do you think that low elo is better to split push alone than do drags? I think in low elo, it's just better to just group and just team fight, man. In low elo, I definitely think that's what it's all about. What is the most often mistake I see in plats? I would say, just like laning. Like platinum players, their laning, their first 15 minutes is just atrocious. Platinum players generally don't really have an understanding of getting good bases, how to abuse their matchups. They just kind of like play the lane and then like they don't really have intention with what they're doing, like in their matchups. They just play the lane how they feel it in the moment. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, their bot lane loses, then they'll just complain about their bot lane. So generally, what I recommend for a platinum mid laner is I would recommend you actually go all in on just trading. Optimize the trading and you're taking good trades in the first 10-15 minutes of the game, all in on lane. Figure out your matchups. What could you have done better in this matchup? What could you have done better in that matchup? Why is this a counter? How do I play around it? How do I minimize? Just matchups, all laning. And then obviously like their warding and jungle tracking is non-existent. Yeah, basically all just the fundamentals, man. I usually get tilted when I don't CS better than my opponent. Any tips to fix this mental? fix your CS, man. Focus on your CS. Maybe you're just you're more angry at yourself because you're missing a lot of CS. So maybe work on your CS, man. That will, I mean, that's probably an easy fix. I'd say that's probably the biggest one. Love your content. How do I play when counterpicked? When you get counterpicked, that's where champion mastery comes into play. That's why a player like Dopa, he'll get counterpicked when he's playing Orianna, but he's so good at Orianna or Twisted Fate that he knows how to minimize matchups. So a lot of the time, your job as a mid laner, if you get counterpicked, then it probably means someone else on your team got a good matchup, right? It means probably someone else didn't get counterpicked. So your job a lot of the time is to minimize. And what I would do is in reviews, like, okay, what could I have done to minimize this matchup? Could I have tethered a little bit better? Could I have used my wards defensively? Could I have actually just tempo based, traded my HP to tempo based on this cannon wave? Could I have built in a different way? Could I have conserved my mana a lot more? Could I have, whatever it is, like you figure out ways essentially. But also, blindable mids. There's a lot of blindable mids. I think Diana, Echo are quite blindable at the moment with Kassadin bans. I think Syndra is another blindable one. I think Galio is honestly very blindable at the moment. Should every mid laner know how to play at least one AD mid laner? I think that it does help. It's not essential. I think if you're Diamond Plus, it is really good to have one. Below Diamond, it's not essential, but Diamond Plus, I think you should, honestly. Best champ to learn fundamentals. I think it's a lot of... Any champion with a simple kit. Lux, Malzahar, Morgana, Diana, Echo, Orianna. Any of those champions can all learn fundamentals very well. What does tethering mean? Tethering is essentially just going in and out of the enemy's attack range. So think about it in boxing. You got someone like two boxers, like it's their range. They're constantly tethering the opponent, right? Like they're just getting in between their range of getting hit and striking. So it's like that. They're constantly going in and out of that threat range. Can you explain how to tempo base on a cannon wave? Okay, I'll quickly draw that up now. For you guys, because tempo basing on a cannon wave is extremely important concept to understand. Okay, so quickly here, this is mid lane. Let's say you're here. Actually, let's draw this better. Let's say this is you. That can be his fringe. This is his fringe. He's got an emo fringe. And this is your opponent. Okay. So generally, what will happen is that, let's just say the minion wave is in the middle. So this is your 6 creeps and this is his 6 creeps. Now, you'll notice what will happen eventually is that one of the next waves is going to be a cannon wave. I believe it's every 3rd or 4th or something like that. 3rd wave. Something like that. If you're not sure, then just because sometimes it's really hard to keep track of waves, then pan your camera in base to see the next wave coming out if it's a cannon wave. Then what you'll realize is like, okay, let's just say your health bar is, let's say you've got 70% HP. And this guy's on full HP. Say he's full HP. What you can actually do is be like, okay, yes, I don't win trades, but the longer I stay in this lane, it's going to be worse and worse for me. What I'll do, I'm going to use all my abilities on this wave. Maybe I'll actually position much more aggressively. Yes, it will come at a cost. I will probably lose like most of my HP and all my mana doing this. But then I'll duck out of vision, instantly start recalling, and now knowing this guy has to make a choice. Oh, well, I kind of want to, I mean, I've actually used a lot of my mana trying to chunk this guy, and but I also need to reset now, and I don't want him to get a free reset on me. So he's going to either reset as well, or he's going to spend time having to kill this next wave, which is a cannon wave. And then what happens when this next wave is actually a cannon wave, then it takes a lot longer because cannons are really hard to kill. And then even if the cannon wave crashes into your tower, then the cannon actually soaks up a lot of the tower hits. So it'll give you plenty of time to come back. You might only miss 2 or 3 creeps, if any. And then you're going to be in a really good spot. And you've just minimized a tough matchup. All right. The drawing skills, man. Hey coach, when playing TF, when should you use your ult purely to know where the enemy comes? Sometimes I use ult like that so I use my ult very like early if I'm not, and just to spot out flankers. That's what I would do. So maybe I'm versing a Talon or a Diana or some form of heavy flank champion, and it's a big team fight coming up. I'll just use my ultimate to spot out where they all are, so our team can actually position appropriately. When do I stream? How often do I stream? I stream like once or twice a week. How do I improve paint drawing? What is this? How can I identify what I'm struggling with? That's a great question. It can be, in terms of figuring out what you're struggling with, what I would do is actually watch all my coaching sessions. Watch all my coaching. I have a lot of coaching sessions. I have quite a few. This one's going to be on YouTube as well. Watch all my coaching sessions. And I have ones for differing elos, gold, platinum, diamonds. Figure out try and watch some of them and be like, okay, does any of this resonate with me? Watch my unranked to challenger series. Watch my mid fundamentals. All of these videos. And then actually go to your ones. Is like, do I do any of this? What Curtis says? And that could be a really good way just to compare. What do I do? And also you can kind of compare it. If you play a matchup, go on YouTube, type other people playing this champion, see how they play it, kind of compare what works, what doesn't work. You'll slowly start to figure it out if you kind of compare your own gameplay with other people. Why do I like coaching so much? I just love, what I really want to do with coaching and what I do now, I love helping people climb, because one of the big things that I'm passionate about is actually people get so pissed off and so angry with their rank stuff. Like, it creates a very toxic environment for them, makes them unhappy, makes them pissed off, they get frustrated. By doing what I'm doing now, I'm hoping that I just make so many people's ranked experience a lot more pleasant. For me, because everyone's going to be a bit better, learn more about the game, feel way more in control, take a lot more responsibility. But more importantly, just give people the tools to be able to achieve a goal that they've always wanted to do. Because climbing the ranks, getting diamond for the first time, is like the coolest thing ever. Or getting master tier or challenge or whatever. It's like the most fun thing ever. And if I can help people with that, like, that's so cool, man. Like, I think like just hopefully making a big impact on solo queue for everyone, making them be a lot more pleasant of a gaming experience. Can you do a video on how to adjust your playstyle based on the elo you're in? I mean, that's a hard one, man. I mean, the only thing I would say is in low elo, you just got to group a lot more because the 15-minute ARAM, that's basically the only difference. And like in high elo, you can probably play a lot more for gank setup because your junglers will capitalize on it. What would be the mid-game plan for a champion like Talon? Would be to push sides, roam, and get flanks onto the backline. And create man advantage by forcing the enemy mage or the enemy champion into the side lane, reacting to waves. Would I like to be a psychologist? Nah, man. I'm not, don't know about that one. I'm not interested in doing any of that. One small request on your videos is when you're demonstrating what you're doing well in lane, I'd like to know what the enemy should have done. That's a great question. I actually did that on one of my videos, and it was actually interesting. I did it on one of my videos. You can try and find it on my channel. I talk about what the enemy should have done. I can do that. I actually should do that more. What I'm actually thinking of doing is doing another like a high elo review and talk about what the enemy could have done better. I might try and do that more and see if people like it. So I think it could be interesting. Do I have any hobbies or passions aside from League? Yes, I love reading. And I collect records. I love music. I collect a lot of records. I love reading, man. I love this reading. I love music. I love film. I love film a lot. So basically film, collecting records, and reading. Thoughts on One Trick Diana to mid to platinum? Yeah, you can easily do that. But the thing is, Diana gets banned a lot, so you might find it hard to do that. Thoughts on Set mid? Does he have a similar champ identity to Pantheon? Not really. Set is more of like a lane bully, whereas Pantheon is like setting up ganks 2v2 and roaming. Very different, because Set doesn't really want to roam. What's my highest finish in ranked? I got 8. I mean, I've peaked in season 7, 6, 1000 LP. I peaked. And then I think it's season 6 or 5, 850, 900 LP. Is there something you think... What is this? Is there something you think could be doing better? I mean, I could be doing so many things better, man. I could be doing my videos better. My editing. I mean, there's everything. There's just so much to do, and I don't have enough time in a day. Favorite movie? What am I reading? At the moment, I'm reading some Dostoevsky. I'm reading a book called The Idiot by Fyodor Dostoevsky, a Russian author. He's an old dude. He's amazing. How do I request a coaching session from you? Unfortunately, I'm not doing any one-on-one coaching, but I will be doing an announcement talking about that stuff when I hit 20k subs. So stay tuned for that. My favorite movie? It's hard to say because I'm a massive Quentin Tarantino fan. I love his original films. I love what's that? It's his first film, Reservoir Dogs. Is it Reservoir Dogs? No. Is that what it's called? What's his first film? Let me Google it. I forgot the name of it. Yeah, Reservoir Dogs. That's a real good one. Quentin Tarantino. Looking through some of Quentin Tarantino's films. Oh, Pulp Fiction's an absolute masterpiece. Actually, in saying that, Pulp Fiction was my favorite, but then after that, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my number one film by far. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is an absolute masterpiece. I've watched that film so many times, and I think it's an absolute masterpiece. But other than that, I like Paul Thomas Anderson his films like The Master, and There Will Be Blood. With that, he always gets Daniel Day-Lewis to yeah, he has some amazing ones. Do I record? Do I stand? Yeah, I'm standing, man. I like standing. I actually pro match review. I'm actually going to try and do a pro player review series where I review games from pro players. So that's something I definitely want to do. Do you think every other player in high elo master knows all the fundamentals? No. I mean, we reviewed 2 people today that were high diamond, and Zappa even got master tier, and jungle tracking is something he barely knows. He wasn't doing so. Jungle tracking, a lot of players in high elo don't know jungle tracking very well. They just get good. They just climb because they're very good at their champion and they know how to push their lead. What else we got here? Seen V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta's got what's that female actress, when she was really young. She was from Star Wars. I forgot her name. Crime and Punishment. Yeah, Crime and Punishment is one of my favorite books, actually. Voru by Dostoevsky. It's an amazing book. Makes me uncomfortable. What champs have a similar identity to Pantheon? I would say Galio, Talia, Nocturne, Fizz, something like that. Yeah, Natalie Portman. Tips on remaining calm and patient while playing League. Lately, I've been having some problems and affected my League behavior. Playing less games, but being more focused and having a goal can really keep you focused, because then you're not focused on just the outcome. You're focused on your improvement. So you're not just looking at the LP, you're looking at, did I actually achieve what I set out to do? You know? So that can really help you in taking deep breaths if something bad happens. Taking a minute, just take a deep breath, reset, get back into it. What is this? You skipped my date proposal? What do you mean? Zyra mid, is it doable? I mean, it's obviously doable. Like, you can play it. I don't know when you would pick it. Maybe... I'm just thinking, like, I just don't know how or when you would pick it. Because I'm pretty sure it just gets pumped by a lot of the high range mages. It can get pumped by assassins. It could be a decent niche pick because people don't verse it. Like, you could get away with it. But I just... Honestly, I think the only way to find out is just play it. Because I haven't played it in a long time. So I really can't comment, man, unfortunately. I'd need to play it to figure it out. I've been watching Dopa streams to learn some TF, but I don't know exactly what I should pay. Yeah, I'm going to try and do an actual Dopa review of him playing TF to show you what makes him so good. ASOL guide. I'll do an ASOL guide in the future at some point. I just need to wait for him to get a little buff because I don't think he's that strong. Warwick mid as a counter. I've never seen it, so I can't really comment either. What champions would you recommend for a former ADC playing mid? Depends on your elo, but generally I'd like to start with bread and butter mid lane mages like Cassiopeia, Victor, Orianna, just to get a feel for what a classic mage. Oh, I want to go watch Pulp Fiction with you. One day, man, maybe. I'm in Australia. When you're trying to get LPs worse, just play to improve, yeah. I don't know you, but you seem like a perfectionist like me. How do you cope with feeling like you need to do everything right? Yes. Yeah, I am. I'm pretty intense. I'm very hard on myself. I mean, the way I deal with it, I make sacrifices. I don't really have a social life. I don't go out that much. Even like I was quarantined in this isolation before this thing even happened. Like for months, I barely left my house. Like I was just grinding videos, trying to figure out how to do things better, coming up with ideas. Like I've always been more of like an introverted person who, that's how I deal with it. The sacrifice for my perfectionism is I make sacrifices. Like I always work on myself in some way. You know, I don't have a social life, I guess. That's how I deal with it. Because then I make myself feel better by knowing that I'm putting in so much effort. Like, I don't know. It's just a bit of a weird way to do it. But I also make, the other thing is I just take time to do my, my hobbies. How to play from behind on roaming champs like TF. I do talk a bit about that in this video when I was coaching Zappa, the first client of this video. You should check that out. I talk about when playing from behind on TF in mid game. But generally, it's all about trying to create a man advantage with your ultimate, essentially. Do you think you could do a video? Muba, I have a video on that. Literally on identifying your role in a team fight. Literally, I have a video how to improve at team fighting at every rank. You should watch that video. I said about the Aurelion Soul Guide. I'll do it in the future at some point if he gets a buff. The only champ I can play at a high level right now is Zilean. Which champs would you consider similar or nice to add? Well, given that you're a mage player like Zilean, you might enjoy champions like Victor. You might enjoy a bit of Cassio. You might enjoy Orianna. I would slowly introduce champions like that are a little bit similar, but, you know, in the same vein. And, yeah, that's probably the way to go. Damn, you sound like a really social guy. I am a social dude, but I just don't make time for it. Like, I enjoy spending time with people. You know, it's weird. So, like, I'm introverted and extroverted. It's weird. It's like, if I'm in a social environment, I thrive, but I'm completely fine with being alone. Like, I don't feel like I need to go out and do things. It's strange. I don't know how that works. What do I think about Akali's spot right now? I think Akali is pretty weak in mid lane. I think she can work in top because she has more room to do things. Whereas in mid, it's all about pressure at the moment. The mid meta is all about pressure. So I don't think Akali kind of fits in mid meta at the moment. Yeah, Galio is a video I'm doing. It's probably going to be one of my next videos. Thoughts on Dematerializer for minions with low wave clear or for tempo resets? Yes, it can be very good. Sometimes I like taking Demat on those champions. I think it can be nice. Ambivert. Is that what it's called? Interesting. My goal is to climb to Masters on a fresh MMR account, but I find myself hard stuck in P1. You want to say if I look at the goal, not LP gains? No, what I'm saying is, what are you actually improving on? You can't just say your goal. It's like saying, I want to be rich, but like, that's my goal. I want to be rich. Yeah, that's cool. But then what are you doing to put yourself in a position to be rich? Like, what are you actually working on right now, rather than make more money, being more specific? Because like getting high rank, you can look at it like, oh, I want to be challenger. So my goal is win more games. Cool. You win more games, but how do you win more games? How do I make more money? It's like the same thing. So what are you actually improving on? What are you specifically in that next game? What is one skill that you're improving on? Because that's how over time, that's how you get into a position where you get challenger. Like to become a challenger player, it's like a slow process of adding things to your skill set. So it's like an MMA fighter. They don't become an MMA fighter overnight. They slowly add skills to their arsenal, Yeah, I've actually seen Team Akali. I've actually seen it. It wasn't too bad. What do you recommend in low elo? What do you recommend in low elo? A TF champ or a side lane champ? Just a mid lane champ, man. Any like mid gold, in my opinion, low elo gold is all about just like team fights. I found like team fighting is just the way to go. What are the best early game champs? Early game champions. What is an early game champion? Syndra's really good early game, I guess. It's such a strange question. Early game champion. I don't know. But I mean, champions like Spike really early, like Pantheon, I guess. Like I said, Syndra. I guess Lucian mid. LeBlanc Spike's pretty early. Galio's always pretty strong early. Echo's pretty strong early. Azir's actually quite strong early, actually. Early levels. Zoe's very strong early. Zoe's a good one. Zed, quite nice. Talia. Talia's another one. Talia and Sylas are not bad either. How can I get better at farming and last hitting? I actually have a video on that. How to last hit effectively can help you with that. It's like one of my last solo queue tips of the day videos. It can really help you. How come you want to play next to your turret in the bot lane? Wait, how comes you want to play next to your turret in the bot lane and you want to push wave? Okay, so like the difference between mid lane and bot lane is that, think about mid lane is like you're like the central part of the map. So it doesn't, if you get pushed in bot lane, it doesn't affect too much because it's actually quite far for them to walk into the jungle. Whereas mid lane, if the person gets pressure, they can go into the jungle really, really easily. It allows them to dive. They can have so many options to go to sides. There's just so many options they can do. Whereas in bot, and because mid lane champions also spike a little bit earlier as well, it's just so much more you can do. Whereas in bot lane, if you get pushed in, it's not the end of the world. There's not really much they can do. It's just different. Just a different role. Yeah, LeBlanc Guide is something on my radar. It's going to take a lot of time. I'm just putting that on the back burner for now. I think there's a lot more other champs I want to deal with. What are my hobbies? I said before my hobbies are, I like film. I love film. I collect records and I read. That would be my favorite three things. And I like going to the gym, but the gym's closed. I am probably gonna I'll answer a few more than I'm gonna go. This has been streaming for ages. I've been streaming for like I've been standing up for like 3 hours, over 3 hours, 3.5 hours. My feet are gonna fall off. Thoughts on Nico mid? I think she can play. She can be played, but I think she's very risky because if you make one mistake, you're screwed, and she's very hard to play. Katarina guide, yes, I will be doing a Katarina guide eventually. A lot of people were asking about that, but again, there's just so many other videos I'm trying to get through, but it will be done. What records, what music do I listen to? I listen to everything, man, but predominantly my main favorite era is the post-punk era, like late 70s, early 80s. Like post-punk is probably my favorite era. Do I coach jungle? Not really. I just do mid lane stuff, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm standing the whole time, man. My legs are going to fall off. I don't think I'm going to have I'm not going to have any legs after this session. They're just going to fall off, drop onto the floor. It's going to be only the top half of my body. I also like to read. What do I usually read? I read a lot of things. Looking at my... I mean, at the moment, I'm reading like a lot of like literature, like Dostoevsky. That's what I've been reading a lot recently. Miss Fortune's actually really stupid at the moment because think about it. She scales well. She has really good mobility. She has insane team fighting. And she wins lane. Like, what the hell? What champion wins lane, has really good range, has self-peel, can team fight super well? Like, everything. She ticks every box. What is my signature champion? It's hard to say. I play a lot of champions at the moment, but probably my TF or my Ori. Probably my Ori. So I like standing up, man. I just like getting the creative juices flowing. What's the first champ I mained? The first champ I feel like I properly mained. Actually, I climbed to Diamond in Season 2 with Hecarim. Season 3, sorry, with Hecarim. I loved Hecarim. And Yorick. I loved Hecarim and Yorick. And then I went to mid lane and I loved Ziggs. Ziggs was one of my favorite. Dude, if I had a home gym, oh man, that's a good investment. Home gym. That's what I want to get one day. What are some good blind picks? Diana's good blind pick. Ori's a good blind pick. Syndra's a decent blind pick. Is Kiana strong early? Kiana can be quite strong pre-first, like level 6. But can actually take some decent trades at level 4. So not too bad actually. Rumble guide, yeah, that's something I'm also looking into as well. But I think Galio is going to be my next one. I think Corki mid's kind of average at the moment. It's too slow. Like the difference between Azir and Corki is that Azir can do things, but Corki can't really. Like he doesn't win many lanes. Azir actually just wins lane. What's the most efficient way to understand the meta? A combination of things. Looking at what the highest elo players are playing, just watching games, so high elo solo queue games, sharing your opinions with people, and just playing and testing yourself. What works, what's working, what feels strong to verse, you know? Yes, Victor mid is good in Platinum 3 after Diamond, definitely, yes. Victor is a champion that, because he's so versatile, he can win a lot of lanes. He's a solid champ. Alright, I got it. Maokai mid, I haven't seen any of it. I think it's more of a competitive pick. Silas, I've got a Silas guide already, man. Alright, I'm gonna call it a sesh. I'm gonna leave it there. If you have any more questions, you can leave it in my Discord. But I am a little bit fried right now. Nearly been going for 4 hours straight. So, last question. I've been through a tough phase. Feel blocked, unable to improve, even when I make a lot of effort. Any advice? Arthur? My advice, if I were in your shoes, I would watch all my mid lane coaching sessions on my YouTube. I would watch my mid lane fundamentals. I would watch my unranked challenger series. I would watch all that. Then I would have a small champion pool of 3 or 4 champions only. Champions with simple kits and champions you love. And pick one thing you want to focus on at a time. Start with trading. That's it. Done. You get diamond within a few months. Done and dusted. All right. Catch you later, guys. Got to go before my throat feels like it's going to explode. Been taught I need some water. Thanks for tuning into the stream. And this VOD will all be on my YouTube. That's a great thing about streaming on YouTube. The VOD automatically gets saved. So that's cool. Catch you later, guys. Appreciate it.